One, two, 33. Welcome to Rise Above TV. It's Friday night, but there's no live show tonight. I need to let you know that straight away. But don't go anywhere. Don't worry. We've got something prepared for you. So why is there no live show tonight? There wasn't a live show last week either. Why 2 weeks in a row? Tonight, Andy PG and Becky S are at Beat Herder Festival. I've had so much MC work on. I've been driving up north almost every weekend. But don't fear. We've got some pretty cool stuff lined up for you guys. So please stick around tonight. And I need to let you know what's going on in the next couple of weeks as well. So, the last live with the hotel inspector, badass. That will come into contextual fruition in a minute when I start talking about what we're going to do in a couple of weeks. Right. So next week, which is, it's actually the 25th. I've changed the date on here. Next week, the 25th of July, we've got Indigo is our guest. He is an up-and-coming influencer. He's going to be joining us live. And, he's got a lot to say. And he's been ruffling a few feathers, talking about current events. And he is sort of like a refugee from the New Age movement. And he calls them out a lot as well, which I know raised Andy PG's eyebrow and a couple of things he said. So really, really looking forward to speaking to Indigo. I'm just going to turn myself up a little bit. So that is next week, the 25th. Then the very week after, we've got Human Vibration back I know a lot of people were really gutted about the last time when Human Vibration was supposed to come on because she couldn't make it. Her dog was sick. Unfortunately, her dog didn't make it, but she's got over that now and she's ready to come on and do the presentation called The Big Lie. And you can tell by the thumbnail, this is going to be super spicy. We should probably put this on Patreon, but we're not. It's going to be on the Friday night show, free for everyone to see, whether Al Gore likes it or not. So that's going to be on Friday the 1st of August, which is the day before my birthday as well. Right, so Human Vibration, episode 157, 1st of August. That's in 2 weeks' time. Then the week after that, oh shit, I've gone the wrong way. I have literally just found out about this. And for everyone that's on Patreon that knows, we did our first on the street Rise Above. We called it the Peasant Perception Test. We're just asking people questions about current events. You know, the obvious ones anyway. And we said we'd do it again. And I think that this is going to be the perfect opportunity to do it again. 9th of August. In Bournemouth, the migrant hotels, there's going to be a peaceful protest there. So what our aim is going to be, myself, Andy, PG, and AJ, we're going to go there and we're going to try and interview both sides of the protest. Yeah, that's not going to be easy, but we're going to try and do it. So that's going to be the 9th of August. I might live stream it as well. I'm seriously considering live streaming it as well as doing the edits and doing the proper, mic'd up interviews and everything like that as well. So that's on the 9th of August. We're going to be attending the peaceful migrant hotel protest in Bournemouth at the Roundhouse Hotel. And then we'll be back live on the 15th of August with episode 158. This is going to be interesting. This Guy Anderson, he's wrote a couple of books about Tartaria and he comes highly recommended. And one of his books is called Rise of the Clone. So he's preparing a presentation for us as we speak about this. And it's going to be really interesting. So we're fully looking forward to that. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, no, I can't wait until next week, to get some fresh Rise Above that I haven't seen before. If that's the case, then I would literally urge you to go to our Patreon. If you haven't signed up to our Patreon for only £3, then you have got no idea how much Rise Above is on there that you've never seen before. I reckon there is probably roughly 100 videos that are simply nowhere else, exclusively to Patreon. It is predominantly brand new material, and it's obviously a lot spicier than what we can get away with on Friday night on YouTube. So if you want some Rise Above and you can't wait until next week for the live show to come back, get onto Patreon. Here's the QR code. It's only £3. You get so much for your money, and it's the best way to support Rise Above. This right now is paying all of our bills, all of our software, all of our licensing for our streaming bits and pieces. This is being taken care of. So big shout out to everyone that's supporting us by signing up for only $3.33 or £3 a month. Thank you very much. Yeah, big shout out to you. And obviously, here's the first street report is only available on Patreon, so that's a good reason to get on there as well. Right, let's go back. Let me just go back. Obviously, the big talk right now is that the Rise Above Weekender is now 5 weeks away. This week, I've spoke to Dave Murphy, I spoke to Martin Leaker, I spoke to Graham Moore, so all of our headliners. I've told them, what time they've got to arrive and everything. I've told them their timetables. It's all starting to come together now, guys. There are still tickets available, starting at only £15 for a day ticket, £50 for the whole weekend. There's still rooms at the hotel. Don't hang about. Bigger, badder, better. Rise Above Live. Martin Leaker. Oh yeah, who else have we got? I've got to tell you the whole lineup. Wisdom of Mushrooms. We've got, there's stall holders available too. I think we've got 6 stalls with all artisan Ramesh goods. There are still stalls available. So Archaics is joining us virtually for the big talk on the Sunday night, a 2-hour panel discussion with Martin Leaker and allegedly Dave, all in on it together. And who have I not mentioned? Yes, we've got Ryan Sanders and Inspector Veg, and a whole lineup of other interesting talks, performers, Raw Academy sessions. Big shout to Flat Earth Social. Big shout to Johnny Fogg, who's going to be joining us on Sunday as well. Magix is going to be doing the Boomer Disco. Get your tickets now. If you like the Rise Above podcast, imagine how much fun our events are. That's all I can really say. So let me just get rid of that. So coming up tonight, you've got over 2 hours worth of vintage Rise Above from all over the spectrum, whether it's in the recent shows or going way back. And I think the showcase tonight is Human Vibration with a Lady Di presentation, and there's some few other bits and pieces thrown in there too. But don't forget, we are back live next week. That's Friday the 25th of July with Indigo. Word to Your Nan. Oh, by the way, the Word to Your Nan t-shirts will also be available at the Weekender. Thank you, please. Does everyone remember when we had John O'Looney on the show?
Mate's one of our best guests, I think, when he was
groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Again, another person that carried on being consistently with what he said. Starts getting called a shill by everyone. Apparently a Freemason and stuff. I thought John O'Looney is legit. Anyway, he hasn't gone away, right? John O'Looney is still going, and he's still finding out new stuff. Does everyone know about Stephen Crowder? He's like one of the biggest alternative YouTube, not alternative, because he's sort of like conservative, right wing, American. He's actually a very good broadcaster, even if I don't agree with him, but he's got like millions of subscribers. He had John O'Looney on, right? Now, Stephen Crowder's worth about 3 million. He's big. He's sponsored by Smith & Wesson.
Wow.
Or like a big gun manufacturer, yeah. Right. So he's like one of these pro. I would say out of those crowds, he's probably the best broadcaster.
I recognise this dude.
Very skilled broadcaster. I actually look up to him the way that he hosts the show. I think he's very talented, Stephen Crowder. But anyway, he has a big platform. John O'Looney's been on there and I've listened to it. Whoa. I mean, I'm not going to lie. He put the video out on Rumble and BitChute only. He said, I can't put this video out on YouTube.
Yeah.
But now, Lee, you've seen these pictures of these calamari squid type parasite entities that have been allegedly pulled out of people's bloodstreams or veins, right?
Yeah. Like, what size are they? What scale is that?
Big. They're like. I don't know. I don't think these are small things. Basically, John O'Looney is obviously keep going on about these pictures. These are being pulled out of people's veins when they can't embalm people properly because their veins are filled with these.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's like real bad because apparently this is what John O'Looney says. A real blood clot, even in a dead body, is like a spongy little blancmange. If you pick it up, it breaks down, even when it's sort of semi-dry. These things are fibrous entities. They're like the roots of a plant.
Nanotech.
The roots of a plant or something like that. The point I'm getting at is John O'Looney's going on about it, presenting this information to people. He's getting called a nutcase. Before he has him on the show, Stephen Crowder phones around on camera dozens of undertakers in America. Most of them say, no, don't know what you talk about. A couple said, what, can't talk about that, put the phone down.
Wow.
And then one guy started talking about it and he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm getting people, I can't open them up. I can't open their veins. And I've pulled things out that I don't recognize. And then, and they played it on live and he'll come back. And then John Looney comes on and then starts talking about it. The story is not going away. And it's like,
I wonder, don't forget, like, how long it's been since the first Britney Spears tour. Like, this shit's had some time to grow, and they keep going back for more.
What about the guy that like queued up and got like 10 boosters? Some people will have blatantly had more than 5. They've done it.
Yeah,
the real staunch like Provias, they would have probably got 6 or 7 by now.
This is fucked up, man, honestly.
Homunculus. That's what it was about.
Yeah, that was part of your big presentation just before Ratri. You were talking about the homunculus within, the inner homunculus.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I watched this new Netflix thing, and I know people have a go at me for watching Netflix, but I like to see what the Dark Occultists are putting out. And it's basically like a different episode every week, like the Twilight Zone, something occult and dark, but a different story every week. It's called Curious Box of Mysteries, or very dark. One of them is about this parasite that has no senses. It's sort of like this jellyfish squid thing, and it lives inside humans, and it's done for thousands of years and controls them. It's never been found, and it gets inside people. Oh my God.
Wow.
And it's got everything in there.
How synchromistic.
And obviously this parasite gets in someone and it speaks through them. And this guy that works as a it's called the autopsy. And he starts cutting these bodies open that were dug out of this mine. And this and oh my God, I won't ruin it for everyone, but
I mean, this shit looks like something out of the movie Aliens that bursts out of people's chest.
Holy shit, I've just remembered. Right. This is how synchronistic the clown realm is getting to me. While I was looking into this story and I was getting these screenshots, on Facebook, I came across a video on Health Chancellor Gates' own channel, right, where he visited the Parasite Museum. My God.
I remember.
Right, let me just find it, yeah? Right, I have this video because I downloaded it. Where is it? There it is. So let me just get it up here. So I'll put these images back on the screen. So these are allegedly parasitic entities that have been pulled out of people that have been to the Britney Spears concert's veins, yeah? These pictures are all over Facebook. Many people have seen them. As I'm researching this comes up. Can we already see some?
What the fuck?
Wait.
I'm in the world's foremost parasite museum here in Tokyo.
Hi.
World's leading king of parasites.
Well, is this what he does for a day out?
Goes to a museum to like honor his subordinates.
Nice to meet you.
Me too. It's kind of cool. It's kind of gross. In history, there was a lot of parasitic infection in all countries. Fortunately, a lot of that's been eliminated, but it's great for people to come and learn about the burden that's there and the great work that's going on.
I've just got to keep doing that to get rid of the, in case we get copyright.
That's what this dude does for fun.
Yeah, he goes to see
recreationally.
Parasite.
More than 1 billion people in developing countries suffer from parasitic diseases, including guinea worm, sleeping sickness, elephantiasis, river blindness. These are the so-called neglected tropical diseases. There's a few, like guinea worm, that's down to very small numbers. We have others that we have very good tools that the drug companies actually.
You get the idea. But I just thought...
That's gross, man, honestly.
It was gross, but like, isn't it just synchronistic that, well, this emerging parasite story from Bill Gates' experiment is coming to light. He's visiting the Parasite Museum. Yeah, kind of amazing, kind of gross.
Well, maybe they're going to try and flip the narrative.
Go on, Lee.
Well, maybe they've caused this problem, and then they're going to pretend to come up with some solution to it.
Well, that's what they do best.
Yeah.
Problem, reaction, solution. But I mean, yeah, these are fucking gross, man. That it's John O'Looney's talking about. Look at this shit.
Imagine if it came to light that this was happening to people and it was openly admitted. And the first thing that they did was introduce an anti-calamari parasite.
Anti-calamari
Britney Spears concert. Everyone, we have it in you. We've tweaked the mRNA technology to break down the calamari. Please.
Well, that's the ultimate problem reaction solution, isn't it? They're going to double their money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the complete Satanist business model.
Double their money, kill a load of people, and then mock the rest of us that know about it. The triad.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, many people have parasites in their stomach. Everyone has an ecosystem of tiny parasitic, bacteria and aerophytic bacteria. In case anyone doesn't know, an aerophyte is the opposite of a parasite. It works in synergy. So we all have an ecosystem inside us, but like these parasites, they don't seem to be they don't seem to be actively parasiting. They just seem to be clogging up people's arteries and killing them. Like, I just put it back on the screen again.
Could be part of the experiment.
Yeah, maybe the people that haven't died have got, their parasites are inactive and they're literally just controlling them from inside.
I wonder if these things are conscious. Like, fucking, alive and shit.
Calamari has breached the consciousness barrier.
Or is this the nanotech, the self-assembling nanotech?
That'd be the second phase, won't it? Once it's formed, then the spirit or the consciousness can enter the matter.
Enter the matter. So is this the self-assembling nanotech?
I just don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Like, there must be somebody who knows, like, this shit. That's like, why isn't this all over social media? Like, people, like, doctors.
What, have you not seen this before?
No. I mean, like, people coming out and saying, like, this is this. Like, we've tested this.
Oh
and
yeah. If you want to, I mean,
like, what is it? What's it made of?
Well, Matthew Horwood says there's a story coming later this week. I have seen that one of these new documentaries, called like I don't know, died suddenly. We have 303 people tuned in. Died suddenly.
Sorry, Karen.
God, no, just saying there's one coming out in a week or so that apparently goes deep into this phenomena and it tries to explain it. Bonnie Greaterek says they are Hydra.
Hydra, that's the. Do you remember we memed it, didn't we? People, it was like the little tentacle bug thing, like holding up a sign.
Yeah,
like that was the original one in 2020. So you think how big these things are growing?
I'm inclined to think that any of these things that actually kind of manifest and survive, they'll be the new sort of political elite class.
Wait a minute, are you saying if people manage to survive with these things inside them?
No, the thing survives once it's killed the host.
Right, okay.
Wow.
The person drops down dead, and then this thing kind of slithers out and stands up erect and puts a suit on and goes to Parliament.
or maybe they just slowly take over the meat suit and it never falls over, and it's just that thing walking around with a meat suit
with this
sleeve.
Thing in charge of it.
Yeah. The meat suit just becomes a sleeve instead of having the spark of Divine Michael inside you. You've got one of these calamari entities.
I wish I was joking.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why we laugh. I think that's, maybe we could explain that to Mark a bit better. Some of the things we laugh at is because of our respect and our praise for Ronald McDonald. And that's the thing I have noticed. We haven't prayed to Ronald enough recently. We have not even mentioned his holy name. And for anyone that's new to the show that doesn't understand what I'm talking about, when I say Ronald with a WR, Ronald McDonald is the deity that you pray to when you really hope that you're wrong. And we haven't prayed to him recently. We just sort of laugh at everything. So yeah, we don't want people to have calamari inside their veins. And
I want to talk. I want to just get someone on the show.
Should we talk to John O'Leary again?
Yeah, let's get John O'Leary back on the show and talk about this shit.
Yeah, because I want someone to like get one of these and cut it up and like put it under a microscope and say, "Is this?"
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah,
give it another 6 months. You're about to bring one of these parasites on and
keep it in a cage at home.
In another 6 months, there'll be a podcast like advocating for their rights.
Oh God,
Parasite Lives Matter.
Is there going to be a P going on to the LGBT?
Hey, we've already got the Gimp Lives Matter t-shirt. I can see Parasite Lives Matter coming soon.
Can we be wrong on this one, please? Just this one.
Hey,
this once. Can we be wrong?
Oh, that's a good meme.
That's from Johnny Fogg again.
Johnny Fogg is hard at work. So this is not a meme. I'll just point this out. This is not a meme. This picture here of like Health Chancellor
That's
Gates.
right, I saw this. Yeah.
Health Chancellor Gates demonstrates how to read a book on a speedboat. Has anyone ever sat on a speedboat? Look at the wash there.
Yeah.
Right? That speedboat is probably doing 20, 30 knots. Have you ever tried to read a book on a speedboat, an open-top speedboat going 20 or 30 knots?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Especially not a 70-year-old man without his glasses on.
I'd push him overboard.
He's got his fucking Ukraine body protector on there.
You really wouldn't want to share his calamari, would you, on his boat?
No, not sharing his calamari. Look at his feet. Look how big his shoes are. Can you see that? Does that look long? I would say that's like a size 14.
Covering his flipper.
Well, mate, you need shoes like that if you're the king of clown world. Do you know what I mean? Look at the size of a massive clown shoe.
Whenever I want a good laugh, I go back to that video. I think it was like back from the early 90s where 3 people assassinated him with pies, cream pies.
That was good. He proper shitted himself. Really, you could tell that.
I say he can be got to.
Yeah, you can tell it wasn't staged. I bet you couldn't get to him like that now. Not now. Back then, he wasn't really Health Chancellor Gates like the Soviet Union.
Little fucking gimp, wasn't he?
Yeah. The Soviet Union was just a twinkle in the milkman's eye back then. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Come and experience a world-class lineup of guest speakers at the next Rise Above Live in the Flesh August Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender, featuring Martin Liedtke, Wisdom of Mushrooms, Graham Moore, Richard Ryder, Toroidal Dynamics, Inspector Veg, Marcus Payne, Ryan Sanders, Tom W's, and allegedly Dave Murphy. You won't want to miss out on these speakers exposing the peasantry that is Clown World. Exclusively at our Rise Above Live in the Flesh Part 2 Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of August. Don't be a peasant and get your tickets on our website today.
I'm just going to get her in. Welcome, Human Vibration. Welcome back.
Hello, guys. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you.
Welcome back. Can everyone just confirm that you can hear her and the levels are good?
Check, check. Hello, hello. 1 2 1 2.
In case anyone doesn't know about you, where are you broadcasting from?
I'm from Dallas, Texas, the 33rd parallel.
Haha, there we
Awesome.
go. We like that automatically. And for anyone that's unfamiliar with you, you are predominantly Twitter-based, right?
Yeah, Twitter, and now I've been doing a lot more on Instagram. But
Oh,
Twitter is where I originally started sharing my work, and it's interesting how different the exploration is between Twitter and Instagram. Insta is a lot more visual, and I'm a very visual person, and I've been having a lot of fun on Insta stories, especially with the Titanic stuff. That's just been swallowing up everybody's collective conscious. As we've all
They've
been
really
through
been deep sea harvesting.
Yeah.
The peasant sphere there, they're like scraping the bottom of the ocean.
They really are scraping the bottom. But I've noticed that I've been sharing. I haven't really shared much about that on Twitter, but I have shared a ton on Instagram. So it's interesting to see how my explorations materialize on the different platforms. So yeah, Twitter and Insta.
Awesome. Well, that's how I came across you, was on Twitter. Primarily the Jean-Benet Ramsey stuff. You work with templates as well. And there were just these threads that seemed to go on, and I just couldn't stop clicking them, and I was absolutely taken in. And that's how I contacted you. So this would have been late 2020, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think this is my 6th. I can't think of how many, either 5th or 6th, like you said, number of presentations. And you're right, these are exclusive. These are exclusive. I don't post these anywhere else. I only create the presentations for y'all. And weirdly, this is my favorite meeting. I love presentations, but I have to be tasked with it. I can't just do it on my own. I have to be given an assignment, like a student, like a little, I have to be given my assignment, and that's the only way I find myself really, really spending the time to do it is when I know I'm on some sort of deadline. But
That's cool. If that's the way you seem to work best, you roll with it.
We will always, give you
let's
the
be honest,
to step up to the plate.
There's
definitely.
plenty of fucking subject matter.
No shortage.
There's no shortage.
I think once I gave you a title. Let me think about this. And I sort of had an idea in my head of what I wanted you to come
Crumbling
up
reality, right?
Templates of a crumbling reality or something like that.
Oh, the
And
sand presentation.
you actually
Yeah.
you interpret it completely differently to how I had in my head, and what you came back with was mind blowing. So yeah, we're always very excited to have you on. It's always a pleasure. Now, I think you actually sent me a choice of subjects for this one, didn't you? And I picked out Lady Di.
Right. About a month ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 weeks ago or so, we were talking about having me come back on, and you said, do you have anything that you've been thinking about? And the two things that I'd been thinking about at the time, there were really two subjects that I'd been itching to do something on, but really had no motivation to do it. So I threw out to you guys either the Titanic or Lady Diana. And at that time, Titanic was just as old news as Lady Diana. There was nothing, the Titan hadn't happened yet. There was really no enthusiasm or energy towards it. So it was just kind of like a shot in the dark, which one, I didn't care which one or the other. And then we ended up choosing Princess Diana. And then all this stuff about the Titan came up, and I was like, oh, I want to do that one. I just got so enthralled in that story.
And when you told me, I hadn't even really paid attention to it at all. And I was like, listen, there's going to be a couple of people, more than a couple, had said, I'm really interested to see what she's got to say about Lady Diana. And I was like, we can't change it now. It's too late. I've made the thumbnail and everything.
And I'm glad we stayed.
It fits with King Sausage Fingers.
Of course, because when this was originally proposed, it was not far back off the end of the sausage coronation.
Right. Yeah, and I've been
Sausage
focused
fest.
on royals
Sausage
for
fest.
a long time. I love and we had, the one of the biggest star celebrities in the whole wide world was the Queen, and she passed. That was relatively recently. So it's been on my mind. The royal family has definitely been on my mind. But Diana is one avenue I just haven't really gone down yet. I kind of keep an eye on it. But, when I knew that we were going to be focusing on this, I even asked you at the beginning of the week, I was like, are you sure but I'm so glad that we stayed on course with Diana, because I ended up really just falling into my discovery process with it, where everything, as soon as I start looking, everything just seems to reveal itself to me. When I get like one little inkling, the rest just falls into place. And I found that as soon as I started working on this presentation with Diana, I was like, oh, this is a good one. So it's very Diana heavy. I have weaved a few things in from the Titan and the Titanic, just a few, maybe like a teaser, so we can come back and do like a focused exploration on that if it's even needed, because this story is crazy. As we all have Titan fatigue for sure. So I'm actually really excited to get back into Lady Diana and explore
Diane Ra.
And this is a real exploration. It's just mostly how my brain works. So this presentation is not so much about the topic. I'm realizing that this is just like a roadmap to the way that my brain processes information like this, and all the little patterns and the little tips and tricks that I use. So
you're saying this is actually like a trip inside the brain of human vibration?
For better or for worse, this is absolutely...
Welcome to the doors of my mental fortress.
Yeah, this is the real ocean gate to the waters of the self. Through this exploration. So it's been really interesting. She's a fascinating character. She always has been. She's a mesmerizing character. I remember when I was 12. I was 12 years old when she, met her untimely end. And we are, over here in the United States, but that did nothing to shelter us from the onslaught of total media coverage, total fascination mode. It was kind of similar to how the media took JonBenet Ramsey after. That was slightly before 1996, and then 97 was Diana. But the way that the media was swallowed up by these two cases is really incredible. And actually, it's a mirror of exactly what happened with the Titanic, just the absolute swallowing of the public's mind, of the media projection. It was just complete. You really couldn't miss it. After a certain point, you couldn't not hear about it. You couldn't not, with the Titan, with Diana. Even if you don't have a TV, even if you don't really have the internet, it's hard, really, unless you're living under a rock.
Yeah, those are really sort of like generation-defining moments, because for my generation, it's like everyone remembers where they were for two things. I almost said Michael Jackson's death, but I don't think it was so much that. It was definitely Princess Diana, and it was definitely, obviously, 9/11. For the generation before, it was the JFK shooting, and obviously the moonwalk, I guess. And I'm not talking about Michael Jackson, Neil Armstrong. Sorry, I just needed to press the button. But yeah, we've got these moments that sort of hold the collective consciousness together.
Yeah, and I'm glad you actually brought up two of the biggies. With JFK, that happened in Dallas, in my city. I've been fascinated by that. And then 9/11, 9/11, JFK, Diana. I've worked all of those into the presentation, as is not probably surprising. I like to work in some things that are far afield, but related. And it's been really, really interesting just to study the media, just to be an observer of these all-encompassing stories that come across, and they are unavoidable. They swallow us whole. And I think that there is a way, it does seem to be getting more and more uncanny and absurd. And like you said at the beginning, you recognize that the Titan is just a distraction. No matter what it is, it's just a distraction. And same with Princess Diana. We'll never truly know the details that people want to know if we're looking at the story in the same way. It will never be figured out if we are trying to see it from the position that we've always seen it from. So ultimately, that's what I'm offering. I'm offering a new lens, a new vantage point, just a new way of seeing all of the old information. And we'll see.
So what you're saying is that it doesn't matter how much an NPC would research the Lady Diana story, because they're only going to go from mainstream, Wikipedia, newspapers, stuff like that. They're never going to figure out what truly happened.
Well, even if you scour the whole truth scene, you're only going to certainly get a wider narrative of what could have happened.
Yeah.
And now you're about to hear the human vibration version of what happened. I'm very excited.
Me too. Me too. And I will preface it by saying there are endless conspiracy theories about Diana's death. Endless. I wouldn't even be able to, there's not enough presentation slides in my presentation program to cover every single conspiracy. So that's not what I did. What I did do is I re-examined the official story, which is how I usually start. All of my explorations. I like to see what I see within the official narratives and see what jumps out to me. Now that I have a new way of processing the information that isn't always been in front of me, it's the same information. That's a big part of this. I'm not pulling from any secret sources. What I'm doing is just looking at all the existing material, the official material, and seeing what jumps out. And there's quite a bit. Especially, and I'll try to explain for people that are brand new to the way that I see the world and the way that I take in media. I'll do my best to explain as I go. But man, there are just so many little hidden gems, just so many points. I'll say there's so many cracks. There's so many cracks in this story, and the cracks are how the light gets in. So that's what we're going to explore today: is all the points of entry for the light to get into this deep, dark story.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right.
We
Okay.
need to give a shout out to Mark Bajetski before we.
Big shout out to Mark
further.
Bajetski
He's
tuned in. Have we got Sheep Farm tuned in as well?
I don't know. People keep saying bar in the chat. So
All the cool people hang around here on a Friday night. Do you want me to get your screen up?
Yes. Let me see. There we go. Yep.
Okay. We're cooking gas mark 33.
Okay. So the title, it seems a little self-explanatory, but the first thing that really jumps out to me with Princess Diana is her name, Lady Di. That's what she is kind of colloquially known as, Lady Di, Princess Di. And of course, right there in the name is exactly what happened to her character, Princess Diana. It seems as if she is destined for death. I didn't do too much numerology, but some of people in the audience might notice that she died in a car crash. Car crash is CC 33. So that's just immediately part of the story. These are a collection of newspaper clippings from the days after that she died. And it was a catastrophic car collision in Paris, France, and it was heard around the world. So she died with a man named Dodi Al-Fayed. And I wanted to look, her name's pretty obvious, Diana, but I wanted to look into his name and see what I saw. And his last name, Fayed, F-A-Y-E-D, is just an Egyptian surname. It doesn't actually have a meaning in the language. It's an Egyptian city, but it doesn't actually have a meaning. The name doesn't mean anything. But it did remind me of the name Fayed, or the word Fayed. It's basically the same name, but it's in Scotland, and it means fated to die. So his name sounds like a word that means fated to die.
What about his first name as well?
Dodi.
It sounds a bit like that bird that was made extinct, the dodo bird.
The dodo bird who's extinct. Dodi. And then D-I, Lady Di.
Do-di.
Yep, do die.
Oh, shit.
He did die. Or that's how the story goes. Okay, also, interestingly enough, I was really trying to find the meaning of Fayed, but I got close. It's an Arabic name, and I got close with Faid, which means burning or aflame, and it's used to describe a heart that is inflamed with emotion. Has also been used around the word of sacrifice, like a sacrificial offering. So those are two interesting things. So meaning of heart is inflamed with emotion, sacrifice. It's kind of exactly what happened. And I want to kind of start off with this this is kind of an overarching theory of mine. Diana's death is an unresolved event. There is no conclusion. There is no finality to it, nor will there ever be, because that's exactly as it's designed. These unresolvable events, they generate unending trauma within the minds of the public. I state that we really are the victims when these events come on screen, when they engulf our entire, mind, body, spirit. Literally, everybody is glued, transfixed by these stories. We truly are the victims here. And these unresolvable crimes, the unresolvable nature is to kind of ensnare our minds, just trap our minds, trap our focused attention, really focus our attention onto a single point and keep it there.
This is the energy harvesting we keep talking about on the show.
Yes, this is the loose energy harvesting that we have been talking about. And it's all really, kind of around our heart, and goes back to the Fayed, meaning heart. And of course, Diana, another one of her names was the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts. Okay, so this is really going back to the beginning. Again, I used the word transfixed. This is an early takeaway from the story. This is from a few days after it happened, and the world was absolutely transfixed. I wanted to make sure that we kind of recognize that element of it, that transfixing of the gaze, because that's really how these stories, again, that's how they operate. The purpose is to collect our focused human attention. I truly believe that our focused energy and attention is the most precious resource on the planet, and that's why it's called pay attention, because it truly is
spending time.
Spending time, pay attention. Time truly is money. And the more time we spend on these things, the more we are giving our most precious resource, which is our focused attention. Okay, so Lady Di, she was the most photographed woman in the world. It's every once in a while someone's going to have that title. But what does that actually mean? To be the most photographed woman in the world, it means that she was, on the flip side of that, on the inverse, that means that she was the focused of more camera lenses than anyone. So to be the most photographed person, you have to be on the receiving end of a camera lens. So she had more cameras focused on her than anyone, which is kind of interesting when you really think about it, because a photography camera, also video cameras, they work exactly like our human eye. Literally exactly. The aperture opens and narrows to let a light in, just as our pupil and our iris will dilate to allow more light in or less, depending on the situation. And it works exactly like a camera. We have a lens on our eye, the lens element of the camera. The sensors in our eye mirror the sensors on a color camera with the red, green, and blue. We have red, green, and blue photoreceptors. It's just really important to note that our eyes operate exactly like a camera. They also do something that cameras do, which is a flipping and reversing of the image that is in front of us. This is just a side note. It's something just to keep in mind for later. This flipping and reversing of reality. We'll come back to that. Okay, so this is a diagram of really how human vision works. We actually kind of see our focus through a tunnel. Through a tunnel, and this isn't tunnel vision, which is actually a negative effect of the eye, kind of a degeneration of eyesight. This is just, ironically, a tunnel of focus that our eyes see through. So when we are actually focused on something, there's like a cylindrical focus area, like a tube or a tunnel that we appear through, and then everything above that.
Is that from the tunnel vision? Is that where that came from?
I actually had a whole song about this. It was called The Human Condition. It's eyed straight forward. Look at your peripheral vision. And it said eyes straight forward like a predator, because this is something which is inherent with predators, right?
Yeah.
The ability to focus on one thing that's far in the distance, i.e. the prey.
Yeah.
And your peripheral vision suffers greatly. And I think like the diagram explains here, physiological, you're sort of making up what's in the peripheral vision. Is that what that means?
Yeah. Actually, our periphery does make up everything. It does a lot of, not everything. It does estimations. What we see in our peripheral vision is an estimation of what we're seeing in our focused vision in this functional tunnel that we see. Everything outside of that, everything outside of the functional tunnel, gets estimated by our brain. We think our vision is infallible. We believe our vision to be, because you see it, you can believe it, but what I love so much about this world and about how the human mind works and how the eyes work too is optical illusions. Optical illusions wouldn't exist if our eyes were infallible. Our optical illusions exist for the mere fact that our eyes and our brain together, working in conjunction, literally how they work together, is easily tricked. Easily tricked. Okay, so I just thought when I was looking into, how our focused vision works, I found it very interesting that it looks like it travels along a tunnel. And this also kind of reminded me of my favorite movie, The Truman Show. There's certain scenes as he's discovering this, he's kind of coming online to this world that he is living in. A lot of the camera angles turn into this tunnel vision POV, which gives a hyper voyeuristic element to the movie, but also I think is a very interesting hint to how our vision works as well. The focus was always on Truman. Okay, here is a tunnel illusion. Here's an optical illusion. I just talked about how our eyes can be our brains can be kind of broken by these things. So this illusion, it doesn't work on everybody, but if you stare into the abyss, it will begin to appear that the abyss is growing. Do you guys see? Can you guys see that? So they tried it with a bunch of different colors, and this isn't a great.
Of course, the magenta.
The magenta
works
one.
much better. It works much better.
Yeah. It's not even a great high-res
That's
version.
like turbo magenta tunnel now.
So researchers that were developing this illusion found that the illusion's effects, it varied against different colors, and it was strongest when the black hole was atop a magenta background.
It also gives the illusion of 3D on a 2D image too, because essentially that is just a black circle that's got a faded, variant fade with the grid, the coloured grid. That's all that is. And it's not only giving it the appearance of a 3D tunnel, when, like you say, when you stare enough, the tunnel's actually growing.
Yeah.
I think that
staring into the abyss, and the abyss stares back into you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are just a really fun example of optical illusions, how our eyes operate and how they can be tricked. But also, it's a tunnel. It's a tunnel. So Diana, this is the Pont d'Alma tunnel in Paris, France. This is where she passed the tunnel.
Yep.
And I do think that this underground, kind of closed off subterranean stage setting for the most horrific event of its time, I think it's very interesting that it took place in this tunnel in the dark of night, and and our vision was all we got sucked into the tunnel.
I think, can you just go back to the slide on top of the bridge there? Is that the point of illumination?
Yes, I have that as we go forward.
That is right above where she died, above the 13th pillar, right?
Yes, this was the entrance. You can't see it over here, but on the opposite side, on the exit to Avenue of New York, that's where the flame is, the endless flame statue.
Yeah, because I've told this story before on the show.
And it was the 13th pillar.
It was the 13th pillar.
13th pillar.
I was actually in Paris very shortly after this happened on a school trip, funnily enough.
Oh my gosh.
And we walked over the top of this bridge, and the illumination statue was literally right there. It's accessible, and all of these it was a load of they were also on school trips as well, but they were all stood around it crying. Like, basically it was a huge energy harvesting ritual going on, and people were writing these like long detailed messages on it with marker pens, and before you knew it was covered in graffiti. Well, I was 15 years old. I didn't know about any of this stuff, about energy harvesting, and I clearly had no respect for what was going on. But I just felt like I just didn't like what was going on. I was like, I need to break this up. So I actually just wrote the Wu-Tang symbol on it. I think I wrote Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to fuck with, on it. And lo and behold, it broke up the energy harvesting. All the girls started going mental at me. But I mean, obviously, it got me kudos with my mates at the time, but
Yeah.
I did it because I felt like this is like weird. I couldn't really conceptualize it at the time. I didn't know about any of these concepts that we're talking about now, about lunar energy harvesting, or about the importance of human attention and how it can be harvested. I just felt like, oh, this is horrible. I want to break this up. This is like weird. But yeah, there were literally crowds of people there pouring their emotion and writing down it into this this illumination statue, which is obviously it's Freemasonic. It's the same torch that the Statue of Liberty holds, which is Lucifer,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And Lucifer means light bringer. Luke, like an aquifer is a bringer of water. Aquifer brings water. A Lucifer is a bringer of light. That's actually what it means in the Bible. Bringer of light, Lucifer. And I'm so glad you keyed in on this, on the statue, because we're going to be covering that too. It all ties in. I believe the illumination is a wink to the manipulation of light and dark, of light and shadow. And we've actually had one of our first presentations that I did with you. I didn't include all the comparisons between the sigil of Lucifer and light, how light works and all that stuff. I didn't include it in this one because if anybody really wants to go back and see, that's in the John Benet Ramsey, my first presentation with y'all. But light is such a huge, light and shadow and the manipulation of both.
Again, here in the image, we've got light and dark.
We've got light and we've got dark.
Yeah, and it's really
She
weird.
was killed in the light.
And it's really weird because you would expect the tunnel to be dark naturally and then outside to be light, but this is like an inversion. This is a tunnel of light in the darkness.
Isn't that interesting?
Sorry, we need to unmute Omar Beats. He wants to contribute.
It also reinforces the polarity.
Turn it up.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it reinforces their polarities as well, their linear sort of aspects of life.
I'm so glad you brought that up. We're actually going to touch on polarity later too. Polarity
Excellent.
is the way that the power comes from polarity, from the equal of opposites, the oppositional forces,
The yin
two
and the yang.
sides, the yin and the yang. Yeah,
Just before we go any further, I noticed there's a comment.
Get that comment up. We
Is
like to
it-
be interactive here on a Friday night. This is right above.
Where are we? Juicy and Lucy. So Lucifer is not a bad word. No, it's not. As Human Vibration put across, it is a symbol of the light bringer, which is actually an archetype for knowledge, for someone who brings knowledge, who brings the light.
Do you know what
So Lucifer is not a bad word at all. No.
Well, I'm just researching now, actually, because you mentioned about aquifers. Aquifers, obviously, under the pyramids, there's aquifers.
Interesting.
I'm wondering whether or not there is a Luciferian channel, a chamber in the top of the pyramid.
Well, it was said that this particular road tunnel now, many hundreds of years ago, was used for occult ritual worship of the goddess Diana.
No fucking way.
Yes.
Wow.
No
Yes.
fucking
Wow.
shit, man.
No, I remember reading this in great detail
Gosh.
in the David Icke book many moons ago. Anyone feel free to fact check me there. But he got into great detail about it, about how this was before Paris was modernized and this was turned into part of the the modern infrastructure of this metropolis. It was basically an extension of sort of the underground of what Paris would have been in like the middle to early Victorian ages.
So that fact right there, that they used to worship the goddess Diana, I mean, that's a quick fire fact to shake a normie's mind up.
Yeah, for sure.
To literally make their
You've
mind.
got to understand the significance of that, though. That's a problem because to the average normie, that doesn't mean anything. It's like,
I mean, but how fucking coincidental can you be?
normies thrive on coincidences. They
lap it up.
pump through their heart.
Do you know what? I reckon if we gave Jason, Jason Bashir's the task, he'd probably find a numerical solution to why that's happened.
I guarantee.
Right, anyway, let's let Human Vibration
Sorry,
get back to.
we're just having a little.
No,
tangent.
it's me. I
Another
was the
tangent.
one who went on the tangent. But.
Stop
I love it.
tangenting.
I love it. Well, you brought up the Egyptians with the pyramids. Dodi Al-Fayed, the Al-Fayed family, were Egyptian.
Egyptian, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit just woven in, just the narratives woven in. Okay, so again, I think my task for myself when I just started working on this presentation was to just look at everything that existed, the old news, see how that appears to me in the new light. And I just began at the beginning. So the key facts, this was like one of the first reports from Time to make it over to the United States, like when we were just digesting it. This is one of the first reports. So the key facts were it happened in a narrow tunnel. The lights of the Eiffel Tower had yet to be shut off for the night. So the city of lights was, so again, back to Lucifer, all the light is just gonna blow up in this
We hadn't turned off the Lucifer Tower yet. Just
We
to let
have
you know,
not
that's an
turned off the
important
Lucifer
part of the
Tower.
ritual, peasants. Make sure you know that.
Exactly. It feels the bringer of light. Exactly. So one of the first, there was a lot of eyewitnesses that would be quoted in the days, weeks, months, years, decades to come. But one of the first eyewitnesses that was reported on was Tom Richardson and Joanna Luz, L-U-Z, which means light. Luz means light.
Sounds a bit like Lush as well.
It's also like
Joanna Lush.
It was Rebecca Luz, wasn't it?
Close to Lush. And it says
Spill your Lush.
just inside the 660-foot tunnel, which I actually did my own calculation.
66.
It's 666.
Oh,
It's actually
come on.
666.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
This is
Right.
just.
I know. But another big part of the car, so a big part of the story, this is, again, just like the initial details that jumped out. A big part of the story was that the car, it struck the concrete divider, the 13th pillar, and it did a full 360, spun around, and then landed in the 180 in the total opposite direction. So that was a big part of the narrative of the crash, was the car spinning around. And we kind of just talked about that with how our eyeballs work and how cameras work, is taking in a picture and literally spinning it around in the same.
This is a Lucifer ritual.
It's another inversion.
It's another inversion. Absolutely. You guys hit the nail on the head when you talked about the darkness and light in this previous image with the inversion.
It's almost like they're reenacting like a photon particle coming into the optic nerve or something and being inverted on the back of the head in the tunnel.
Yes.
Don't forget, right?
Like a big light ritual.
This will be all the rituals. I'm just going to a quick tangent. So, like the JFK assassination, right? That's actually a Masonic ritual called the killing of the king. That's what it is, the death of the king and the killing of the king. So this might be something to do with that goddess Diana. This is just something off the top of my head that I'm going to look into, because I find this really interesting.
And, she never had the queen moniker for, as far as the royal family is concerned, but she did have that in the news. She was queen. She was queen of hearts. She was queen of the people's hearts. So she never had it, on the official record books to be the reigning monarch, but she, in a way,
like
she
Michael
was.
Jackson was the king of pop.
Yes, absolutely. So again, Luz, just
and
first,
Elvis as well.
Yeah.
Elvis King, king of rock and roll. That's right. So we've got Luz, just again, that means light. Another big element of this story, you guys will all remember this: the white Fiat Uno, the mysterious white Fiat Uno. At the time, 1997, Paris, France, this was the most popular make and model of vehicle in France at the time. So, it was
the Ford Fiesta of the day. It's like everywhere. Look, it's even got the pepper pot wheels that a Fiesta used to have.
To this day, it has never been found. And as of last year, it's still being talked about. This, investigators and authorities within the story are saying that this element is really the key, most frustrating, untied, without talking to the driver, without locating the car. We're unable to really put a pin in this story.
I'm sorry to butt you in, Human Vibration. I'm not actually familiar with this fact about the story. Could you just lay that out just for maybe anyone that doesn't know?
Is this the car the paparazzi was in?
I don't know.
Let me jump ahead a bit.
Can you just go into that a little bit?
Yes.
Let me make this a bit full screen. Hold on. Go on.
The story goes, so near the entrance, and this is as the Mercedes that's carrying Princess Diana, Dodi Al-Fayed, Henri Paul, the driver, and Trevor Rees-Jones, her bodyguard for the evening, as it's descending into the tunnel, the story goes that it is clipped by a white Fiat Uno, that it has an initial collision with a white Fiat Uno.
And how do people know that?
This is from eyewitness reports.
Okay.
Eyewitness reports. And we'll get to it later, but surprise, surprise, the security cameras in the tunnel were just not working that night. They were just not working. And all the closed circuit TV leading up to the tunnel from the Ritz where they departed and to go down into the tunnel to meet their untimely death, all of those closed security things weren't working either.
By, like the same Israeli security company that was running the security cameras at 9/11.
Exactly, and the ones
Jeffrey
at Jeffrey
Epstein's
Epstein.
prison.
Yeah. They also had the contract of the containment cell at Jeffrey Epstein's prison.
Exactly. We'll get into that. Okay, but going back to the Fiat. Okay, why was Fiat this? Why is it even part of the story? Well, okay, I looked at Fiat. What does Fiat mean? We're in in times of revelations. I'm convinced of it because Fiat actually is related to Let There Be Light in the Genesis. Fiat Lux literally translates to so distic dus fias lux expecta es lux, which I cannot speak Latin, but it literally translates to Let There Be Light. Fiat Lux would be translated as Let Light Be Made. So this Fiat being part of the story is again just another indication that it's a blinding light. We're being kind of blinded by these details. And in connection with the Fiat, another point of repetition within all of these stories was there was a white flash of light that took place before her crash, before she crashed, before the car carrying her crashed. There was, eyewitnesses say, there was a blinding flash of light directed at the Mercedes. Some say that was paparazzi. Some say that was the Fiat, but that's never been proven. It's just a major element that is repeated in so many stories. But then it also goes back to guys, talking about major flash of light. This, again, we talked about it a little earlier. This sits above the crash. This is on the bridge that the tunnel goes under, the bridge de Alma. I'm not great at French pronunciation, but this lies at the very end, and
that's what I wrote. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
I love it. I love it.
I think if you zoom in, you can almost see.
And this flame, you said it earlier, this is indeed a full-scale replica of the torch held by the Statue of Liberty that marks the entrance of the harbor of New York City. And what is kind of interesting is this is on the Avenue de New York. So Diana crashed while she was heading towards the Avenue de New York. This avenue is what you enter and exit the tunnel road on. So I find that kind of interesting. Just on that note, there is a quote that if it happens in New York, it happens everywhere. If it happens in New York, it happens everywhere because all eyes are on New York. And we kind of learned that in 9/11. That was a global experience. It happened in New York. It happened everywhere. So this happened in Paris, but it happened on the Avenue de New York. So there's a little bit of a winking there. This, in a way, happened in New York.
There's a comment on the screen here, Human Vibration, from Desktop Geek saying the night she died was a new moon. What a fucking coincidence.
So she hit the 13th pillar in the tunnel where they used to worship the moon goddess Diana on a new moon at the point of light. Underneath Lucifer's statue of light.
Oh my God!
This is. I think this ritual to me is like
this reeks of.
You know what else was on the moonless night?
It's the most occult thing ever.
Yeah.
You know what else is on new moon? A new moon night? The Titanic sinking. It sunk on a moonless night.
The moon's got to eat. The moon's hungry too.
Hungry, yeah. And the moonless night, there's just one evening in the cycle when it's basically invisible. The sliver has reduced to nothingness, and there is no illumination from the moon. Maybe that's just because there's no illumination coming from the moon. It's like an opportunity for this false light to come in and replace, in its place,
the dark sun.
The dark sun. And you know what this fire reminded me of? You know what this flame reminded me of more than anything else? Plato's cave. Kind of like, the pillar and the flame. We've got the pillar and the flame. And I wrote this in 2020. I wrote, the truth is often so opposite of what we are told that we can no longer turn our heads far around enough to see it. And that's kind of an allegory to Plato's cave, where the prisoners are actually chained in a direction where they can only see the shadows dancing along the cave walls. They are convinced that those shadows are reality. If they could only turn around to see the truth, they would understand that what they are seeing is a projection. If they could only turn their head around, just like the last photo of Diana ever taken. This is the last photograph of Princess Diana before she passed.
The dude driving looks fucking wired.
Apparently he was, wasn't he?
That's-
Yeah, he
that's
was
what-
supposed to be
that's
drunk,
the
wasn't
story.
he? I mean, he looks off.
But
his
wasn't he
fucking
like
face.
on sort of like he had like multiple prescription drugs in his system
Prescription
as well?
drugs. He had been
Up,
the
as down, and
story
sideways.
goes- Yeah, the story goes he was drinking heavily that evening.
Imagine thinking you could be doing all those drugs and pissed and driving around Princess Diana. Like what? Especially in a high pressure sort of scenario
So
like
that's
this.
the driver. And this dude in the front on the left, that's the bouncer, yeah, the bodyguard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yep.
guy that's been. Is that the guy that survived?
Correct. The one
Is
on,
he still alive now?
Yeah, he's the one that
Yeah.
we sold his story.
I'm fucking surprised they let him live.
He was the only one belted in.
That's what they say. They did say that Diana, Henri Paul, Dodi Al-Fayed, they all died because they weren't wearing their seatbelts. That's honestly, guys, that's the official line. That had these individuals been wearing their seatbelts, they would have survived. We're gonna revisit that little anecdote.
I can't
later.
stop looking at the guy on the driver. His face, like the
Yeah, I
expression on his face,
know.
Like demonic, man.
Yeah, he's definitely fucked. Like I've worked in raves and clubs for 20 years. That guy's definitely taking drugs.
He's on some
Like,
shit.
that sort of like half smiling, half surprised face. I've seen it a million times. Like that guy's high.
He's on some uppers. He's on some downers. He's on some
Yeah.
sideways pills.
So, guys, I've just got a message from Ramesh Claire. Shout out to Claire. So, she's just sent me a few things. It says, Diana, goddess of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm bugging out on the moonless night tidbit. I didn't even look in that direction. I should have, and I'm so glad that your audience did, because that is a little signifier. A lot of things have gone down on moonless nights. A lot of these, again, like the Titanic. The Titanic went down. I don't know if you can get any bigger than the Titanic. That event supposedly went down on a moonless night in April. Okay. All right. So we've got Henri Paul looking like he's about to head to the clubs. He's been pre-partying all night. And everyone, yeah, and you can barely see, just over his shoulder, you can barely see Dodi Al-Fayed. He's pretty much behind the driver. You can see his jacket shoulder, and that's about it. But this is the last photograph of the most photographed woman in the world. And I do find it very interesting that she is turned in the wrong direction, a la Plato's cave. Okay, we've kind of went over this a little bit earlier, but guys, if you want to get an hour by hour of their evening, literally it's everywhere. You can watch so many minute by minute documentaries on exactly what happened, exactly the whole day. The whole last day of Diana is really, really fascinating. The story is very, very fascinating, and we're not going to do that here, but you can. It's widely available. But this is kind of the crash. This is the I've been discussing. They go into the tunnel. It clips a white Fiat Uno, supposedly. It hits the 13th pylon, the 13th pillar. It spins around completely, 180 degrees, turned in the wrong direction, and then within a matter of hours, we'll get into this, but then within literally a matter of hours, their tunnel was reopened, and the crash scene was completely. It wasn't closed for the night. They reopened it within an hour.
Weird. That seems
It seems
weird.
very weird, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, the fact it was Princess Di.
Yes, that thing should have been shut for days. days. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, just one last thing on the as I started looking into the fiat, you never know what's going to pop up in my brain, what I'm going to see. And I kept seeing that the word zigzagged. I kept seeing zigzagged in titles, in headlines, in the body of the all the different transcripts that I could get my hands on. I kept seeing this zigzag, and that actually caught my eye because I've been focusing on zigzag pattern for a while. It's been something that's been pretty fascinating for me. In World War I, the razzle dazzle camouflage. This was an unsuccessful technique that we've learned of. This was the military. They painted the warships. The U.S. military painted their warships with this crazy zigzag pattern called razzle dazzle, under the idea that it was going to distract the enemy from being able to truly recognize the distance and the depth, the distance from point A to point B. If they could just paint it in this befuddling paint job, that it would actually keep them some way camouflaged. It didn't work. It actually made it more visible. But what it does show that this, illusions, I became reminded of the visual illusions that come with the zigzag pattern. And one of those visual illusions actually is called what's it called? This is called the curvature blindness illusion. Okay, so do you guys see some curvy waves, and then do you see some sharp zigzags?
Yep.
Okay.
Only in the grey though.
Yes, there are no zigzags here. They're all identical curves.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Let's do the colours, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen this done similar with with 3 different gradients, and the difference is only pronounced between 2 variables in the middle gradient. Obviously, here it's between a zigzag and a curve in the grey, but I've seen this done. I'm trying to think what it is. It's something a little bit more detailed than this, but it's exactly
it's like
the same
find
principle.
the curve. That's the one. It's like find the curve, and it's like no, there's no curves. There's only straight lines, but it like your eye keeps. I've seen that one too. Yes.
Yeah, but on some of the other examples, it's like if you really look hard, you can see how the trick is working. But I'm actually studying this really carefully, and no, okay, yeah, maybe.
It's very clever how the brain can be manipulated.
It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary, and I think we need to be aware of this.
Precisely.
We need to be aware of this.
This is how they do it. All these dark occultists, dark Luciferians, whoever, whatever you want to call them, they know all this shit.
Yeah.
They know how the brain works, exactly how the brain works, and how it can be fooled in a multitude of ways, not just stuff like this.
Yeah, bingo. That's brilliant. Exactly. There's so many ways to
Like
trick
we've
the brain.
touched on it in previous episodes with you about colours. Like I've spoken about if you generally turn on, as a general rule of thumb, any news bulletin, the most colour you're going to see is blue because it sets you into a state of submissive acceptance.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, I'm just
and
going
you
to say
see
this.
with the blue lights.
Yeah.
The flashing
the blue
lights.
sky.
Yeah.
Calming
It's-
blue sky.
It puts
Prison
you into a
walls.
state of acceptance.
This is an obvious and very simplistic example of something that's probably a lot deeper than we can possibly imagine. If this can be deployed so concisely on just this 2D image, imagine what can actually be done with a 3D moving image.
And then you imagine what could be done directly into the brain with fucking Elon Musk's Neuralink. You think about that.
Or even the wearables with the augmented reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least then I guess if you've got a wearable on, you know that you're experiencing augmented reality, so you've got your wits about you. But still, I shudder to think what could actually be happening with the moving image, with the use of the green screen technology and the knowledge of how this works. Because this is something that's just been made as look at this.
Yeah.
But it's obviously
do you remember
a
when
lot
this-
more complex.
Do you remember? I can't remember which war it was that they were executing prisoners, weren't they? When it was just the CIA making these videos.
Oh, the Iraq, the Operation Iraqi Freedom or whatever.
That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We realized all these decapitation videos, the ISIS videos, were just being made in the Hollywood basement, kind of like space, kind of like our
by
moon
these
landing.
3-letter agencies again.
Yeah, I think we've
Right.
lost you on camera, HV.
Let's see. Let me X out and let's see if we can get back there.
I'll just turn
This is a great presentation so far. That's really good. We've got
There we
339
go.
people tuned in, guys.
Awesome. Do you see me? Is that better?
No, we still the screen sharing is fine. It's your camera.
You're as black as a Saturnian cube.
Yeah, you turn into a Saturnian cube stretched out.
Am I back?
No.
Go green room, Lance. Go green room.
I'm going to kick you into the green room. We're just going to interact with our guests a little bit. Yeah, this is really good so
339
far.
peasants tuned in there.
Yeah,
They seem to be enjoying it.
Big shout out to everyone tuned in. This is Rise Above, in case you hadn't already worked it out.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear.
Got a bit trigger happy on the volume there.
Trigger happy, mate.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just going to get HV back. No, for some reason your camera's dropped out.
I wonder if it's when I go to full screen or something. Maybe I'll keep it not in full screen. So we'll see. But yeah.
Okay. All right. You need to share your screen again.
I like what you said about augmented reality. Because that's what this illusion is. We don't need. Can you see this? Can you see the screen now? Let's see.
I can, but you just need. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, let's go back to full screen. Okay, whoops, I skipped ahead. So you mentioned augmented reality, talking about going into our goggles and Neuralink and all this stuff, but this is an example of
Rise Above.
Oh gosh. Original partnership upon the microphone, L-Manic combination.
Yeah.
Fuck the pandemic, you don't know. We arise this.
We are risers. And let me tell you how this all started. I hate to go back to first principles, but it's this. It started with, step back 2 meters while the camera scanning your facial features says, warning spatial breaches, observe the government speeches, strict advice on daily releases, don't chill at the parks and the beaches, essential travel, they police it, we know the rules but they still repeat it. Is this about a virus or is it a plot? What's the control and divide us? Is it a problem, reaction, solution? A manufactured crisis, depopulate body baggers, biometric ID taggers, Gates Foundation, backs apparatus, sting through newborn skin like a cactus. Corona, the crown of your highness, the molecule inside your sinus. This ain't Wuhan bronchitis, it's the actors of medical mafia pirates. 3 million came from Obama, Dr. Fauci through Big Pharma. Move it to Wuhan, ring the alarmer, it's our virus, bruv, that's karma. Bill Gates made a prediction, Event 201 is not a fiction. He said 66 million die of corona affliction. Let me spread vocal wisdom, there's nothing social but a social distance. Minds are locked in mental prisons, I hope their sentence lessons well. They program fear, I'm trying to talk to the program here. 2030's 9 more years. UN wrote the agenda of one world government. Epicenter, your soul in your hole in your brain in the blender. Double L's real, I'm not a pretender. I've studied their methods, 20 years with my head in the records. 20 years I've been closely observing. 20 years with my ears to the ground. Sound predictions are made this time around. My mind never swayed, I've been preparing for this day. Had to get that out, I have been preparing.
From within 4 walls to behind closed doors, a power source steadily unleashing power dissipating from the epicenter. Double L, enter. Oh! To the lead, mid the jump, from the back to the front, for the bass, it's gonna pump, don't resist, it's what you want. To the lead, mid the jump, from the back, front, back, bass, pump. This is what you, hey!
This is what you're, whip, solidarity and cohesion. Together resist their lesion. I never stop, Will, I'm still breathing. Forever, I said, solidarity and cohesion. Together resist their lesion. Never stop, Will, I'm still breathing. Forever seen psychotically reading. Documenting their plotting and scheming. Their illogical teaching. Leave me yearning for a topical preaching. Peeling that, the layers of deception. Mirror traps, untrue directions. Peer through the cracks in detection. Say my prayers, face my reflection. Knowledge of self, power of mind, intellectual wealth. Powers of mind, come off the hour. I see these powers to burn down the tower that threaten mankind. I burn down their tower, that threaten mankind. Come of the hour, come of the man, come of the an, come of the power. I look down on 3-sided power with the 4th of the triad. With the help of the man like Master Lee, Master 33, come with the flying knee.
The energy, devil, man. Pick up the energy, man.
Yeah. Gosh. Yo.
Original. Eleanor Manic. to the lead, mid the jump, from the back to the front, for the bass, it's gonna pump, don't resist, it's what you want, to the lead, mid the jump, from the back to the front, for the bass, it's gonna pump, don't resist, it's what you, yo. Think it's time to go all the way. Didn't come this far to go back. Running out of time so we can't delay. We're getting close to making contact. And when we get the know you're gonna pay. Can't be precise or exact. But when I pull my finger, wanna know what you pull my finger and I turn to fact. Don't be surprised when the night turns into the day. Took all the scene to overreact. It's nothing new when you know what I'm gonna say. Just gotta relax and kick back. I know it's new to you, but in turn I'ma prove to you. I'ma lay it out flat. Make your choice, raise your voice, raise your take, cause you're the one, you best believe that. Come on, let's break it. Let's take it. Let's do everything they want us to, but fake it. I know you got that buzz all in you, time to wake it. I've seen you come with it before, couldn't mistake it.
Please beware of the dungeon master. Beware of the dungeon master. Evil, twisted, nightmare grapho. Blood drips congealed on the dirt. Forms red mud. Are you feeling the hurt when the carnage occurs? We let the demon speak and then hang on his words. Mesmerized by the evil inside. Hypnotizing all people alive. Energizing the feeble demise. Life in the dungeon's extremely depriving. It's dark in my dungeon. Around every corner the evil's abundant. Hope is redundant. Treacherous being spread the dysfunction. They feed on your soul. For their lunch and get bleeding with gold or prepare for consumption. It's the ravenous huntsman. Right arm hold your carcass triumphant.
Made the point, me not banning, not leaving. Man, I gonna sit honest, it's not trick or deceiving. Only offering what you'll be needing. Come together as one, and this is what we're achieving. The beers are just burn out in your area. Yeah, no, say that man, it can't go on clear, yeah. Me nah got try and make you feel inferior. Screaming out loud and not no say that we be hearing ya. Now boasting me no claim no be superior. Discard what's unimportant and what's trivia. No one, no item, panic or hysteria. This is serious. Rise above, enough love, give it.
Educated, nice and articulate, well stated and quite particular. If I wanna turn it up, my bars hit hard like a barbiturate. Knockout, pure petulance, shock out. Cure your restlessness, every single word in a syllable. That's my final will and a testament. Let me manifest secret manuscripts. No hatred if you can't handle it. White flag, they're pretenders. White flag inside the center, yo. Leave a bar that all MCs remember. Lifelong memories. If I can't calm my temper, the fire inside's gonna burn for centuries. Who's that back on the set? Back on the stage to make an MC prayer. Back in the place I'm more live than the rest. Oh, back attendance cause it's back to the best. Oh, well, let me regress. Back in the days when it was all so blessed. You were slacking away, you were sounding a mess. Well, Double L was so fresh. Still stepping, 2021, still repping. Yo, live in the greatest apocalypse ever, tougher than ever. And it's 2021, rise above this second to none. Each and every Friday, 9 p.m. We are 140 BPM with Magics live on the mix and blend. Double L Manic, tell them again. We come back with a brand new trend, educate them. Listening, yo, what's going on, what's happening? To my left, it's my brethren, MC Manic. Yo, please tell them.
Come crowd round, cause it's never gonna be the same again. Setting new trends, what you looking for has been, has come to pass, has come to end. Them things will never last at a time. Run its course, gonna put it to bed. Enough said, we won't be led. Conform to the norms to the be dead.
Wickedest hits, not bogus. Heaviest shit, no floaters. The vibe provided with a tight rhyme cipher. Direct with the speed of a lotus. No serious, no jokers. It's a serious thing with no jokers, a landslide win with no voters. Lines are tight, flows are robust, so trust we're known by promoters. Heads rolled in for the baseline thing, that's right, they swarm like locusts. We speak and they quote us, Double L speaking, smell the aromas. Double L's cooking, smell the aromas. I make hard things, yes, boners.
Yes, brother.
I forgot it, I had to make that last bit up.
That's what we do, improvise, quick.
Yo, it's like once, twice, 3 times slick. Yo, Double L Manic, come back with it.
Crowd round, cause it's never gonna be the same again. Setting new trends, what you're looking for has been, has come to pass, has come to end. Yeah, them things will never last at a time. Run its course, gonna put it to bed, enough said. We won't be led, conform to the norms to the be dead. Never man a walks such a treacherous path. Clarity in the eye of the storm, picked on the graph. Went way off the chart, I played my part, no changing it, rearranging it. My life to find peace, arranging it, get engaged with it. The way I'm gonna sit the backseat, turn around and wasting it. I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna be. Speak the truth confidently. Found a purpose, found a reason. Ain't trying to call points of pleasing. We don't need them.
Yo, listen. I oppose all Soviet forces. They could come with their tanks and horses, riding 33 of Bill Gates' Porsches. Rise above is a mental fortress, the most deep in the water enormous, filled with knowledge in multiple sources. They can't storm us, not climbing a pile of glorious corpses. Don't come with the eye of horrors, you still can't see our auras. We hunt rabbit way across the borders. We're the third force installers, the vertical rise installers, control the tour right inside the Taurus. Don't mess with my crew like scorchers. It's rise above, please. Extinguish fear when you generate love. It's rise above. MC Manic, rise above. Oma Beats, rise above. Double MC and Manic and Magics, rise above and extinguish fear when we generate love. It's a single candle lights up the darkness. That is the power that we all harness. I won't tell you once or tell you twice. It's 3 times slick and it's double L here and it's nice and sick. Alright, okay then. And I'll tell you what, let me tell you a new one. Magics. Rise above won't allow the reset, no, not in a million years. We've shed a million tears, they promoted a million fears. My reptilian senses, my mammalian brain, I combat the Schwabian forces, I am bringing them ultimate pain. Why? I'm an agent of the awakening, transcendental 5D changeling. And I manifest now, right now 3D knee straightening. I remember my past life, and 5,000 before it. I've battled these demons 100 times, so I'm coming on to settle this score tip. I'm a worthy adversary, in fact they fear me. Every time I reincarnate on earth, their darkness can't come near me. Why is that? Cause I shine too brightly, a high vibration, daily, nightly, a dire citation. Try to indict me, they wanna silence, de-mic me. Rise above that, yo, they can't endorse that. Walked in the court, wiped the sheet on the doormat. I walked out the court with a brand new format. That's literally what happened. Fuck the Soviet Union, trust me.
Hey, at close range, it might seem strange, at time you'll be glad, cause it's always been waiting for you to reach out and grab. So take the rough with the smooth, take the good with the bad. Stranger than life, living on borrowed time, ignoring the warning signs. Time goes so quick, can't keep up with the design, shifting in and out, the most can start to get confusing, gets demonstrated if you walk the wrong line. Choose that higher level, choose what's significant. You know that nothing else can come close or compare to what's relevant. I ain't looking for elegance or for grace, put emphasis on your own taste. Pick up the pace in front of your race. Come on!
Various tactics like nanotech and space-age plastic, high-spec chromium magic, fortune sealed by Satan's blacksmith, AI quantum mathematics, foretold by crackpot fanatics, initiate when the 5G's active, and squeeze their grip round the atlas. The first stage of the project, prophesied by sages and prophets, binary code is a timeless logic. When the singularity comes and unites us all together as one, digital individuals together as one, stuck under the thumb, time and space got torn like fabric, burned like acid, high-def graphics. The human race got tamed and placid.
All this time that I've been with you, you say I'll break your confidence down. I don't believe in ya. Think I got an ulterior motive that I'm leaving ya. Can't take me serious, don't leave me, girl. I'm bleeding ya, I'm needing ya. And if you walk out that door, I might re-offend. And if I don't get that call, I know this is the end. Feel them foundations weaken and they start to blend. Then you see me follow suit, I follow. No right or wrong, but the feeling the song, so bomb out the sound system. Me not in now, sound enough phone to the bank, keep going until me say when. You don't know me, love the sub bass, love the mid, but I can't forget the top end. Everything nice and crisp, you ready for this? You better play the music again. Check carefully, me, I got one end, trouble gum, looking for you in the street. Push along, me tell you keep moving, but you don't want to be feeding the eat. Telling that man I can double up, feeding the sound, we come together. It's a lick, it's a warning. Check it. Incinerate the fire and the man. Gonna turn it up all his head. See me in the tank and the fan. Man again, see bad boy for them. When I raise my voice up on the night and the crowd, I know I'm gonna bust for them and tell them too many MC want them many men. We're gonna ride it through into the end, yo. Incinerate the fire and the man. Gonna turn it up on his end. See me in the tank and the fan. Man again, see bad boy for them. When I raise my voice up on the night and the crowd, I know I'm gonna bust for them. Too many man them. Too many man them.
Wait, now release, cause the feel from the streets increase. I'm on a quest to find inner peace, escaping the belly of the beast. Wait, now release it. You know the secret, they tried hard to conceal it. Wait, it's potent like a dose of iboga. One dose, game over, deep in the jungle, chilling with the shamans, learning the customs of ancient cultures. Shamanic technology, we fulfill the prophecy. Describe that logically, close your eyes and you might see properly. I said, close your eyes and you might see properly. Wait, now release. The feel from the streets increase. Wait, now release. Okay, yo, I came to the jungle looking for the shamans. Yo, I was like deep in the jungle, knees in the dirt, next to the tribal leader. Speaking the words of the healer, I'm feeding the words. Seeking the teacher vine, the mimosa creeper. MAOY inhibitor, NEO vine can't mimic her. Ancient mixture boiled in vinegar, recipe taught by ancient visitor. I'm slipping away when my eyes look through to the clearing. And the sun beats down on my face, I'm feeling what's that in my peripheral hearing. Ingesting the chemical weight gate, ingesting the chemical gateway, ingesting the chemical gateway to exit the physical plane. Yes, sir. Okay, the general's here. When the general speaks, it's crystal clear. From our tongue to your eardrum, rise above soldiers, show no fear. I'm a militant man, double L with a militant plan. I'm coming from a different land, United Kingdom of Orangistan. Yo, the general's back, I'm speaking general facts. Yo, pay your dues like federal taxes, double L's back.
Suddenly woken, and I'm asleep and my eyes were open. Got a firm grip around my neck, eyes are bonded and I can't be fun like a token. What do you want from me? Chance to see us come to me, I'm giving it all mine. Yo, everything else is pales in the insignificant, still blind and with the baseline. Suddenly woken, and I'm asleep and my eyes were open. Got a firm grip around my neck, eyes are bonded and I can't be fun like a token. What do you want from me? The chance to see us come to me, I'm giving it all mine. Yo, everything else is pales in the insignificant, still blind and with the baseline. Still blind and with the baseline. Still blind and with the baseline. Still blind and with the baseline, move with the baseline, move with the bass. Come on!
Fancy spending a whole weekend away from Clown World? Well prepared to take off your tinfoil hat and join us at the next Rise Above Live in the Flesh Part 2 August Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender. With 3 days of engaging talks, panel discussions, interactive workshops, nightly after parties, speed dating, meet new friends, socialise, network and make connections from Bournemouth's golden sandy beaches. Located 10 minutes away from Bournemouth train station at the Celebrity Hotel, come and join us on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of August, this bank holiday 2025, and get your tickets on our website today.
We have had some new terms, some new
Ramish language.
Ramish vocab has been added in the last 18 months from new happenings, new levels of understanding that we've come to. And every 50 episodes, I think that should become a thing.
Yeah,
I think it's important that people understand our language, because it's, you got to teach people your language, haven't you?
Because we do want to attract new visitors, new viewers, and new regulars. And it's important that they do have a full understanding of everything we talk about, because we can't say things plainly and clearly because of Al Gore.
You have to know the dance steps, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Otherwise, you're just going to get flattened on the dance floor. Al Gore's just going to bogle all over you.
He's going to do the foxtrot over your ass.
He's going to do the foxtrot over your ass. C is for the content consuming entity. So this is a group of C's, really. It's around clown elements. It's around content. And it's around catalyst as well. And all of these terms that we sort of now use quite often, all sort of, I try to cement them in Agenda 2033 with these images. And this is all to do with, what we've been doing earlier on in the show. It is entertainment, like we've said before, to laugh at Clown World, but it is also a metaphysical process, in our opinion. Whether people take us seriously when we say that or not, I don't really care. But in my opinion, it is a metaphysical process to process this catalyst, this clown sludge, and to make sure that it doesn't ill affect you.
The media goo.
Yeah, the media goo.
It's not bullshit. That's 100% what it's got to do.
Yeah. When Inner Guardians was with us, he used to say something along the lines of, it's almost like group therapy. We come together on a Friday night, and we sort of, because you can't really ignore the stuff that there's, like I've said this before, you can't really ignore the stuff they're throwing at us, whether you watch the mainstream media or not. It goes into the peasant sphere.
Yeah.
And if you interact with Clown World or the peasant sphere, then
Mate, it's all around you. You can't escape it.
The egregore is containing it.
I don't watch the news. I don't but people talk about it. I hear people talking about it. People tell me about it. I see stuff on social media. Do you know what I mean? It's
almost impossible to walk away from.
When you're walking down the road, and if you go into the city or something like that, and there's a TV store, they've got the fucking news. Like, you literally can't get away from it.
So just to round this one up as we move on to more of these, this content-consuming entity is a metaphysical metaphor which I conceived a little while ago as part of the process of how we consume the meme sludge or the sludge from Clown World, and we start to process it in a healthy way that doesn't harm us, basically, and we get some some good catalyst out of it, and we also manage to get some entertainment too. I think that's that's the bottom line here. Okay. So C is for content consuming entity. This is an umbrella corp piece of technology. It's patented. C is also for Camilla 19. Now, you might not have heard us say Camilla 19 before the show tonight, is that right?
No, I think
it's the first tonight. But we thought at the end of the day, now that Sausage Fingers has actually been anointed and is the king, we're going to hear more about this person, so we better give her a name. Camilla 19 it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think she came about. It came to prominence.
It's very Ramesh.
It's very Ramesh. She's definitely linked with the 19.
Divok.
But she's linked.
She's linked to the Divok.
Well, how shall I say it? The Divok's rise to power, the aggregated manifestation of the Divok, was sort of like had a positive correlation with her journey from side chick to basically Queen Sausage Fingers.
I saw a great meme where it had a picture of Camilla 19 and it said, "Don't worry, side chicks. There's always a chance."
It's on the screen right now.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. So I didn't read the text.
Put on your glasses. Right. So
brilliant.
Camilla 19, because I'm sure that back in the day it was always said, after they got Diana out of the way, it was always said that but Camilla.
That was another energy harvesting ritual that was a sacrifice.
They literally had people around the world crying.
Yeah, mate.
Tell you an interesting story. I went on a trip to Paris the week after that happened.
That's where it was, wasn't it? It was in a tunnel.
It was a school trip, and at the time I think I was like 15. And we walked across the bridge. Now, at the time, as a rebellious 15-year-old, I didn't really understand what all the fuss was about. It's just a royal parasite died. I was a callous 15-year-old. We walked over the bridge and with our school group, and when you're 15 in front of groups of people, you do things to show off. And there was the actual bit of the tunnel above where she died, and it's got the Point de Alma statue, like the illuminated torch statue. It's coming out of the sidewalk. You can walk right past it and touch it, and everyone had written on it with marker pens these big essays about how they loved Diana. Right, and like someone from my group went up and started writing something, and I was like, someone give me a pen. And I just went out there and just wrote a massive Wu-Tang symbol.
Yeah, nice.
I put Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Good choice.
Yeah, and this French bird slapped me around the face. And her boyfriend came up, and then my mate was like, "Fuck you, she was our princess, we'll do what we want." and then there's like 10, 15-year-old lads. It almost kicks off all these people there was sobbing and crying. But back then I didn't know anything about energy harvesting. I just wanted to do the most inappropriate thing I could do while everyone was crying.
You were 15.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And writing Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with right next to someone that was sobbing going, "Diana, I love you," was pretty special. It's one of those moments you never forget.
It was very appropriate as a 15-year-old.
Please, yeah. I had to break the energy harvesting.
We should have a Wu-Tang noise, really, of some kind.
But instead, we've just got.
Better. That's as much Wu-Tang as you can get. Right, we're still on C. Yes. Okay. So the catalytic converter.
Hit that shit.
Nice one. You know the button already. This is the final process when we take the meme sludge out the back of the content-consuming entity and we process it into this fine pink. Oh shit! I'm not showing the screen. Sorry. Here was the content. The meme catalyst. Go back. What is going on with my mouse?
We chucked champagne on it earlier.
Yeah, that's probably got something to do with it. There it is. Thank you, Matt. It's processed into this fine sludge, and it helps us to get through the process.
This is an example of augmented reality. What we are seeing in our brain is being augmented in real time.
Sure.
but what we see with our eyes, pardon me, is being augmented in real time by our brain. We're taking in curvy lines and it's being augmented into zigzag lines by our brain. So in a way, we're already at augmented reality. I think we should appreciate, understand, we're here, we're living in it. Our reality has been augmented for quite some time. And it's really fascinating to appreciate these illusions because it just shows that we should, I think the awareness is ultimately key. And once we become aware of them using these illusions everywhere, it gives us a little bit of freedom and we can maybe pull back some of our attention. Okay, so back to the zigzag. It caught my eye. This is just kind of dipping into the Titan thing just for a second. I noticed that the U.S. Coast Guard, they released a graphic early in the search, and the Coast Guard was using a zigzag pattern. Specifically, I saw that in a couple articles that kept saying the zigzag pattern. They use a zigzag pattern to find the ship's wreckage, which the whole thing, I'm actually glad that we're not focusing on this because the whole thing is such a farce, and it was just an excellent way to divert all of our attention into one single place. Okay, so enough on the Titan for now. Back to zigzag. Okay, so this is what's known as the path of the flaming sword. And I think ultimately this is what the zigzag pattern might be representing energetically. This is a path. This is a path to enlightenment. And it takes a zigzag pattern. It actually takes a 777 pattern. And that could perhaps be why 777 is considered a lucky number combination. But this is in the Kabbalah, in the practice, the Jewish Judeo-Christian practice of Kabbalah. This is called the flaming path of the sword, and it represents the kind of it's akin to our chakra system. It represents the crown chakra up top. And as it travels throughout our energetic system, it makes its journey and makes its journey from through these down, and kind of reminds me of the chakra system. It's not akin to the chakra system, but at the center, which kind of lies in the center at the middle of where our heart would be, is what's called Doth, D-A'-ATH, which kind of sounds a little like death, but it's called Doth. And this is the path to knowledge. So when all of these elements are a crown, wisdom, understanding, love, strength, beauty, eminence, glory, foundation, and realm, when these 10 elements are united, there is a state that is achieved. There is a state that is achieved and is centered in the heart, there in the center, right there in the middle where that heart would be. That Doth is where it all lies. And something that I find interesting about the heart is we know this. I'm sure many people in your audience know, but the human heart is a metaphor for a Taurus, visually and literally, because the human toroidal field actually emanates from the heart. It's been said that the human heart is a toroidal electromagnetic fractal resonator. That's quite the mouthful, but essentially we have, as energetic beings in this energetic realm, with an energetic system pumped by the heart, circulatory system pretty much runs the show. That's where everything emanates from. That's where our boundary around us, our energetic field around us emanates from our heart center. And this kind of goes back, again, she was a queen in people's hearts. Our energetic center is our heart. And this was one of the most devastating experiences that the modern public had encountered, especially in, the UK.
This was a mass trauma ritual for the peasants.
There's really no other way to say it. It was an absolute loosh harvesting through and through. And it is interesting that our heart is where our energy emanates from. Truly, our this type of energy, this toroidal field that emanates around us, it comes from the heart. And the fact that this was all really about being a queen, in living and residing. She lives in the hearts of the public, and the people were heartbroken. They truly were. They were truly heartbroken over.
I remember coming downstairs the morning, like when this was all in the news and stuff, like after the night it happened. Like my mum was in tears. I didn't know. I think I was 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah, and it happened in the dead of night. That's right. It happened at, overnight in Paris. It was 12:33 when the police finally showed up on the scene. She crashed a few minutes earlier, but this was the scene. This was the scene that they arrived to. And if you guys remember, we talked a little bit earlier about wearing seatbelts. The story goes that if only they had worn their seatbelts, they would have survived this accordion crush of a car. Like this car is crushed. This car is smashed from the top and crushed from the front, and it doesn't look too likely, seatbelt or no seatbelt, that people within this vehicle would have survived. Interesting fact, here's another view of the car to show just how demolished it was. But interesting about these photographs, there are zero photos of Diana in the car. There are zero photos of the victims in the car. And people will say, well, that's because all the photographers on scene, they got their film confiscated. Okay, that's a highly likely story. It's also quite likely that it was a closed set. There was no one in there to truly take photos to be shown to the public. There weren't any genuine photographers in there taking actual photos. If anybody saw photographers, it was all just a stage. They were playing a role of photogs, not actually there to take photos.
However, I don't know what the deal is in the States with the news, but I mean, on British news, we never see like cadavers. We never actually see dead bodies. So maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying that maybe that's.
Well, at the point that they were taking pictures, she wasn't dead yet.
Okay.
She didn't die until the hospital. So I do agree. I do agree that it's in poor taste in.
But wasn't there a
them.
big scandal that someone had taken a photo of her basically bleeding out in the car?
His name was. He was a photographer with his last name was Rat. Literally, his name was like Romulus Rat.
Romulus Rat. What?
Romulus Rat. And okay, this is just kind of interesting because what's in a name really? But in France, the name for the photographers, like the nickname, is Rat. They were called Rats.
Oh right, so maybe that's like his artist name, like Romulus.
But it was
Rat.
his real name. I even looked at it. Like
Wow.
Yeah, there was his given name. It wasn't.
Has anyone ever seen that photo? Did it actually exist? Because the internet wasn't really very good back then, was it? What year was this?
1997.
1997. So the internet back then was pretty cack, really, wasn't it?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because it was Wild West of the internet. But within the first month of Diana passing, of the story coming to light of this story, there were 35,000 websites that popped up out of nowhere. Conspiracy websites that popped up out of nowhere, like immediately after. To me, that actually sounds a little coordinated. It sounds like the conspiracy, the breadcrumbs were pre-laid, and it was all deployed immediately for people to find. That all these conspiracies were kind of laid out right from the start for us to play with. In the playground.
Human Vibration producer Matt, he's got a question for you. Here you go, Matt.
Sure.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
So I just wanted to highlight a question in the comments section. Auntie Koviet said the real one was an actress. This is something I did read, that actually there was rumour that the person in the car, as we would know as to be Diana, wasn't actually her. Also, just to get it in there, second question from me is... in relation to the picture you just put up with the crumpled remains of the car in the back, the number plate there, yeah, that one. So there was actually two pictures taken, I saw, put side by side with two different number plates.
Yes.
And also, apparently, the car was stolen 2 weeks after the actual car had been removed from the scene. Are you able to shed any light on any of those points,
Yes, I sure
please?
can.
Perfect,
Yes.
thank
Okay.
you.
So this was the vehicle. This was the getaway vehicle that they. So there was 2 vehicles from that night. This is from the official story. 2 vehicles that night. The first one was an S600, and that's what they were driving around in earlier in the day. There is a famous picture of her entering a vehicle with different plates. They were not leaving the Ritz. They were leaving Dodie's apartment earlier in the evening. So that was the S600. The S600 then took them to the Ritz. That vehicle stayed at the front. They stayed at the front of the Ritz, and that remained. That all the photographers gathered around the car, waiting for them to return, out to get in the same car that they had arrived in. So that was essentially a decoy car because it gathered all the photographers into one place. Again, this is the official story. And the story goes, because I was also looking in, I thought that was a smoking gun, the 2 different license plate. But as I dug into it, the official narrative explains that away because the S280, which is a different model, that's what they crashed in, and they left out the back of the Ritz in the S280.
So this is the S280.
This is the S280, and the photographs that we see of the different plate, those show like Diana walking into the vehicle, and and she's wearing the same outfit that she was wearing in her last photograph. So people have assumed that that's just right before, but the story goes that was taken a couple of hours before. When she was going from Dodie's apartment back to the Ritz to have dinner. So that explains why there's 2 different license plates. That was one for me. I thought that was an obvious. I was like, oh my God, they have 1 license plate when they're leaving, leaving on this harrowing journey down the tunnel, and then they have another license plate when they're in the harrowing, journey on the tunnel. But I have to play researcher for everything, and I was.
That would have been one hell of a mess up had they have done that.
Right.
Not obviously.
And and who knows when this error gets corrected in the timeline? Who knows when? Because it certainly seems like they have a perfect way to explain this away with now the 2 vehicles. But I kind of wonder: is this new explaining away, this convenient explanation, has that been introduced only after people have started to realize that it seems to be 2 different cars? I'm not 100% sure on that either, but this to assuage that element, they say that they were 2 separate vehicles that they were traveling in, and that explains why there's 2 separate license plates. But to your second point, the vehicle was stolen. This S280, this crumpled mess of the S280, which should have been the most tightly controlled crime scene. This whole tunnel should have been closed off, crime scene style, shut down. Nobody enter or exit. That's not what happened at all. We'll get into that in just a bit, but you are correct that the vehicle went missing soon after, and actually the whereabouts are still somewhat unknown.
Of this vehicle.
This vehicle, yep.
Probably sent to the same place the rubble from 9/11.
I mean, look how fucked it is. You can't just get in it and drive it off.
Picked up by the Bin Laden construction company and taken away in a crate.
So let's just go into that. Like, why have they done that then? That's obviously to make the car go missing. So maybe you're right that she wasn't in the vehicle, because that's why they may have taken it, because you could do DNA samples or of blood or whatever that's, and then maybe
There's
it wasn't
4
her.
people smashed up in the car. There'd be DNA all over the place.
Yeah,
should be. Yeah, and we'll get into the crime scene removal in a little bit, because I think that actually it ties in with some other things that we've been seeing in our more modern Loosh Fest times. Well, there's some patterns. There's some patterns to be seen. Okay, so again, just take a little look-see at this wreckage, the carnage here. And something that I noticed, again, back to sort of our loops, life on loop mode. I noticed that in a lot of the early reporting or now post reporting, kind of looking back on that night, when the medics first arrived, they couldn't really see anything was wrong with her. The story goes that she looked okay. She had a little gash on her forehead.
What?
And she was having difficulty breathing.
She was just Floyding.
Yeah, exactly. I can't breathe. She was she was having difficulty breathing, which reminded me immediately, because the fact that this was you know, we know the outcome, and the fact that it was originally reported that she just had some difficulty breathing.
Surprised she didn't get down on one knee for George Soros as well.
I can't breathe. The I can't breathe was also part of the Titan submersible thing that we just went through. You know, how much literally counting down the oxygen, how much was left.
9/11, when it was all kicking off on the day. I believe it was the BBC. They were magically there with their cameras watching the dust fly past the windows, and they interviewed an old lady, and she said, "I can't breathe." I remember that really vividly, and I can't believe that it's all linked together, isn't it?
Yep.
It's all ritual.
All linked together. And here's another view. This is kind of curious, talking about multiple cars. I couldn't get a higher resolution image of this, but I did find it's used in many official reports. But the top looks completely removed on this one. It looks like a different vehicle.
It looks like something's come down on top of it, like if you look at the centre of the car,
like an anvil, and those
like an anvil,
Tunes.
exactly that, or an axe or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and just again, the absolute carnage here, and this is interesting. Okay, so again, we talked about how Diana didn't have any visible injuries. When the official story goes, guys, she did not have any visible injuries when they showed up. She was just having difficulty breathing, and after she did pass, she had this long journey to a hospital. I didn't really get into that in this presentation, but that element is ridiculous. She didn't arrive at the hospital until like 2 hours after the crash. The ambulance went extraordinarily slow for reasons that are still really not explained, other than they thought going fast would be worse. So the ambulance, quote unquote, carrying Princess Diana just kind of crawled through the streets of Paris. She didn't arrive at the hospital she didn't arrive till hours later after the crash, and then she ultimately passed around 4 in the morning. So, but after they did the autopsy and everything, quote unquote, the official story says that what actually killed her was not this, none of the smashing. She was fine. She was absolutely fine with all of this. But what killed her was a tiny vein tear. It was an ultra rare tear. A tiny, rare injury is what caused her death. It was a tiny tear in a vein in one of her lungs where the heart is connected to the lungs by the aorta. That is what caused her death. And it would have been if she had just worn her seatbelt. And I found it interesting that the tear, a small tear, tiny tear. Tear is the same word as tear.
I was just about to say, tear, a tiny tear.
It's the same word. An act of weeping or grieving, which the whole world
crying
did.
out of the heart for the Queen of Hearts.
Exactly.
This just reeks of the occult, man.
In the aorta, they call it the a-hole here. Or no, they say a-hole, but it was an aorta. They said so. A hole was torn. A hole was torn in her heart. She literally died. The Queen of Hearts died because of a tear in her heart.
They literally ripped her heart in half.
Literally bum hole right in her heart.
And they say that her heart shifted from the left side of her chest to the right side of her chest. That's what caused the tear. So this really is her whole demise. The Queen of Hearts, her demise was all about her heart. And just reminded me, I mean, that's ironic. There's some irony there. The Queen of Hearts taken down by a tiny, tiny tear in her heart, not the smashed vehicle, but a tiny tear in her heart. And this reminded me of one of my favorite quotes of The Matrix that Morpheus said, as he says, "Fate, it seems, is not without a sense of irony. Lady Di, Queen of Hearts, dies because of her heart." That's kind of ironic. Okay, let's get to the crime scene a little bit more. Back to the tunnel. We talked about this a little earlier, but the tunnel was equipped with security cameras. I've seen some say 14, some say 17, which is kind of a little cue, wink, wink. But none of the CCTV cameras in the tunnel that night had recorded footage of the fatal collision. None of the cameras were working. That's what the French judicial inquiry came to the conclusion of. They just weren't working. However, weirdly, a motorist, it said that he received a speeding ticket after being caught on the nearby camera 15 minutes before the accident. So theoretically, the cameras were working 15 minutes before the accident, just not during. So that's very reminiscent of a couple things. We've got Jeffrey Epstein's broken cameras. You know, they simply were malfunctioning. They simply were not working. Just like those cameras, just like none of the cameras were working for Princess Diana, none of the cameras were working for Jeffrey Epstein's untimely demise.
Same as at the White House on 9/11 when the
exactly.
missile struck.
The Pentagon, the missile strike on the Pentagon, the cameras just weren't working. You know, there's just crazy. Okay, so getting back to some details of the story. We talked about this a little, but the spinning around, we've all heard about her hitting the 13th pillar, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
That's just 13th pillar. She hit the 13th pillar. But one thing that I started noticing too was the stone wall element. So she hit the pillar, but also it was the collision with the stone wall. We'll come back to that. But what's important to notice right now is the spinning around. So she spun around in the 180 degrees. And, when you think about what spinning is, to spin, we know spin a web of lies. We know to spin a line is to tell a lie. So in public relations, in politics, and the media, spin is a form of propaganda. So we know the word spin has it's a tangential relationship with lying. So the fact that her car spins around, I feel that's kind of interesting. It also reminded me of something within mathematics. There is something called the spin group. It's a theory, an algebraic theory. I am not going to try to explain the math here, but it is interesting to note that the spin group is a subcategory of what's called lie groups in math, LIE. So spin and lie connect in more than just, human or, English phraseology. It actually, spin and lie go together in mathematics as well. And it creates the spin structure. Again, I'm not going to describe exactly how it works, but it creates this hexagonal six-sided shape within a circle. That's what the spin group does. And I said, oh my gosh, that is very, very strange, because if you look at where the tunnel lies, the tunnel goes under this area of vehicles. That hexagon actually, it's where six roads come together. So just above where Diana crashed, there is a hexagon. There's a shape of a hexagon. So we, spin makes a hexagon. A hexagon. She was literally below what seems to be a hexagonal meeting of these thoroughfares, these key thoroughfares. If you go over each side of the hexagon, you'll see a key thoroughfare emanating out from that. And, the six-sided shapes are called hexagons. What is remarkable of that? Well, a hex is a magic spell. So there's just we talked about it earlier, this is some sort of ritual, some sort of spell, some sort of manipulation of our senses through dark arts, through magic. And on that note, in 1997, Harry Potter was released. So Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, going back to that stone wall, but Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the first novel of the Harry Potter series, which is all about magic, that came out the same year that Diana passed. Again, that was came in, from England, from the UK before it came over to the United States, but that's a 1997 thing. That's just a little aside.
Many researchers have said in the past about the introduction of Harry Potter books into the collective consciousness was like, it was almost like a gateway opened, and the occult was in all of popular culture. It happened very suddenly in the late 90s.
Flood the peasant sphere with magic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So before you know it, all kids are talking about wizards, warlocks, spells.
Yeah. I do think that what we witnessed was a magician's trick, a spell. And a magician's, as we know, guys, like magic, a magician operates on sleight of hand. It's, again, a trick of the eye. It's a trick of the eye. And you really have to be in the audience of a magician's trick to appreciate the illusion. You know, like you have to be in it to appreciate. You really have to be in the illusion to one day be on the outside and go, man, I see how they do it, and it is good. Like, I see why I've been tricked. I see how they've been tricked, and to just like go, bravo, like really well done. This magic is.
So have you heard of a magician called Darren Brown?
Mm-mm.
So he's a British magician. Well, I don't know. He don't like to call himself a magician anyway, but
he's an illusionist.
He's a mentalist.
Yeah.
Mentalist.
Basically, he is the devil. No, he goes out of his way and to show you like how they did the JFK killing, how they did it. So it's called neuro-linguistic programming, and that's all of the stuff you're talking about is actually that is where it is, and even down to MK Ultra, it's a form of, because the brain can be tricked. It will take the easiest route. So if you give it a command. So if you put the body into shock or the brain into shock, like as you go to do a normal routine thing like shaking someone's hand and you jerk them, their brain is in a state of shock, and that's the moment. There's a microsecond you can get them into hypnosis. Now, that's how susceptible.
The world was in shock with Diana. Oh my God,
that's how susceptible we are as humans. Now, you think on a bigger scale like 9/11 or Diana or the Titanic or any of these grave, massive disasters that's happened in the past. It even comes down to the Britney Spears concert. It's all a big fear-factoring distraction, as you say, but it comes down to neuro-linguistic programming. So if you haven't seen his stuff, I'd recommend you do it because he breaks it down so well of how he believes they were able to get this, the grassy knoll. What's his name, the guy who shot JFK? Harvard.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Thank you. Yeah, so that he actually thinks he didn't do it. But there was he might have physically shot him, but he thinks there was a sequence of triggers that made him do that. And he actually got a man in the audience to stand up and shoot Stephen Fry with a fake gun. Yeah, it was with exactly the same commands as what he believes they used at the grassy knoll.
What's his name again? Repeat his
name. Darren Brown. So it's Derin Brown. Or it might be a
I'll
double
check him out.
D-E-R. Sorry, D-E-R-R-E-N.
Oh,
Darren.
Darren, yeah. Sorry,
Darren.
He's an interesting. He looks like the devil.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's an interesting character, but he's very skilled at neurolinguistic programming. 100%. That's where he gets all of his basis of his magic from.
That's dead on. That's really how a lot of this trickery goes. Is, again, back to it's using the susceptibility of our mind, of our central nervous system, the fallibility of our central nervous system. Like you said, all you have to do is do something quickly unexpected. That if you jerk someone's hand while you're shaking their hand, it's quizzical enough and discombobulates someone just enough to be able to slip something in. And so. Yeah. It does feel that the element of surprise, the element of shock, has it does open up some sort of portal. It makes us susceptible for something to occur, and the world was absolutely in shock when
Think
Princess
about
Diana
the constant
passed.
repetition of all of their Clown World shows they give us.
Yeah,
but that's a cult technique.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
Indoctrination through repetition.
And what it does, it prepares you. You're expecting it. Because it's there being repeated to you constantly. You're expecting it. So then when it comes...
It's an interactive ritual.
Yeah, it's an interactive ritual, yeah. When it comes, you expect it. Therefore, you accept it. Half the work.
Exactly. Done. Yes, you're primed. The hard work is already done. Brilliant. Exactly.
You are primed indeed.
Yeah. So back to the Philosopher's Stone just reminded me of the element about the stone wall. It could be something, could be nothing. But I do think that the stone... There is something there, the set in stone element. Okay, back to the hexagon real quick. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but the Royal Mint was actually going to introduce a hexagonal coin, a 6-sided coin for the Queen's Jubilee.
Wow.
They didn't.
When was they doing it? I've never even heard of that. That's amazing.
This was leading up to the Queen's Jubilee, but then they axed it. But I do think it's interesting that
it's a 60p coin.
Yeah, a 60p coin. A 6-sided 60p coin for the Queen.
A 6-6.
Well,
Interesting.
Well, it's a little hat star, isn't it?
It's sort of,
It's a star for the little
yeah,
hats.
sort of.
yeah.
Or the
It looks-
Saturnian
it look-
death cult,
it looks
whatever you
like-
want to call it.
It looks like
LHC.
a £2 coin, actually. Just with the corner. Like a 50p and a £2 coin combined. That's what that is.
But just a little rewind. Producer Matt just found a documentary that said that the chauffeur or the driver for Diana was prescribed a new drug on the morning of the crash.
What?
Yeah. There's some new prescription drug. Have you got a name for it?
Matt Dazzle.
Is it Matt Dazzleam?
It's called Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah, Razzle Dazzleam.
Get on there, Matt. Start jaming it, mate. Let's do it.
All right, yeah, you carry on with that. We'll come back to that in a minute.
And I brought up the hexagonal thing just jumped out to me because I had just been on hexagons while I was in my search. But the Queen is really, I think, an important element of this whole story too, because you guys probably remember this as well. There was a lot of backlash on the British royal family on how the Queen actually handled the aftermath.
Can you go into that?
Of what she didn't do.
Yeah.
So they were actually at Balmoral. The family was at Balmoral. Charles, the Queen, the kiddos, the core of the family was not in London at the time. They were not at Buckingham Palace, and they did not return. They remained at Balmoral. The public was shocked that they would not return to the palace when the people needed them. This is actually Kensington Palace, shown right here. But both palaces were just overrun with these outpourings of flowers. It seems to be an outpouring, but actually, when you really look at it, this is just a clever way to keep the public away from the gates. There's no one in the public near the gates. They can't walk over these mounds and mounds and mounds of offerings to Diana. But that's just a clever barricade. Nobody would see it as a clever
part
barricade.
of the ritual as well.
Yeah, it was all part of the plan. The flag.
But me, you'd have done all right if you took out some shares in floristry.
Seriously.
I reckon a few florists probably retired.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
I don't even know how there are as many flowers in the whole country to make up, it's crazy. The logistics of it are pretty insane. And yeah, you think there's so many questions about that. How were these all ready to go? And it looks like they're all like the same cellophane wrapping. There's something to it. There's something that seems like this was all part of the stage dressing.
I can give the mainstream answer to that because this was one of the key things that woke me up to the ways the world was Diana's death. Now we get a lot every day in the UK. We get obscene amounts of flowers from Holland, obscene amounts, enough to do that. I have seen it on the boats. It's crazy. They just come boat after boat and they're just full of flowers. You wouldn't even expect that we could use that.
Mate, it's big business, man.
It's unbelievable.
And it's kind of ironic because all those flowers are dead.
Yeah, I know.
All those flowers are dead. They're in the process of death and decay. It's just a sea of death and decay. It's
crazy.
It's talk about fate being ironic. It's very ironic that the celebration of her life seems to be in all these flowers, and every single flower is a non-living plant that's been cut and dead. The other thing that the Queen didn't do, she didn't rush home. She really didn't have a response at all. They refused to fly the flag at half-mast for the first 5 days. It's kind of controversial, that element, because it does seem very cold-hearted that they didn't lower the flag. But if you really look into it, they had never lowered the flag. Like there's the Union Jack at the palace, not Kensington Palace, but what's the main palace called?
Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace. So at Buckingham Palace, they never lowered the Union Jack. It just wasn't done. And so the Queen actually broke a major protocol to finally appease the public, because the public was clamoring. They were like up in arms over what seemed to be a very disrespectful.
The peasants were almost getting the pitchforks out.
It's funny because that was led by the media, that was, right? Because
Yes,
normally they lower the coat of arms flag,
Right.
around the country, not the Union Jack, because when you lower the Union Jack, it shows a state of weakness or something.
Yeah, let's not forget. Like, this is the head of the serpent. If you know, they're not going to lower the flag of the fucking solar death cult. Are
Funny
they?
though, it does show that people have the power over the solar death cult, though. She
Yeah, no,
lowers the
100%, yeah.
flag.
Well, it shows you if the attention of the people is focused. At the end of the day, what we've got to remember, everything we're talking about here always comes down to one thing: harvesting people's attention.
Question: were we armed back then? Did we still
was
have
this
guns?
before or after Dunblane? When was Dunblane?
Were we armed?
It was after.
This was after Dunblane.
Oh right, okay, so we weren't armed, and they still did it. Fuck me, they must have dumbed everyone down so much since then, like made everyone so docile.
But think about it. What are they doing? They're asking for a peasant prize. They want.
Right.
They want
Right.
the flag, which is the symbol of the empire. Which, we can talk about that. Can you bring it down to half measures just to show, respect for the queen of our hearts, which you just sacrificed in front of us? Please, can you do that to appease us? If you actually think about that as a request, that's the most peasant thing ever.
Yeah, and
We're asking for the wrong things. We've been tricked into
Yeah,
wanting
that's what I mean.
the wrong
No shit,
things.
yeah.
We are powerful, but our power is being inverted, being projected in the wrong direction. We're focusing on the wrong things, and we were tricked into doing so.
Oh, look at that. Dunblane was 96. It was the year before this. 1 year before. Thank you, AC. 1 year before when, what was his name? Thomas something shot up the kids in that school.
So I wonder how long it was that they had to get the guns off the street.
It
Normally,
probably happened 33 days before this.
yeah.
And they finally completed the gun amnesty ritual.
It is a ritual. It absolutely is a ritual. Something, speaking of the public being in sorrow, being in anger, it reminded me of, her name is the Princess of Wales. And to wail is to...
God, stop it.
To wail is to, utter a mournful cry out of grief or suffering. It's mournful sounds. And also, this is a good one. Okay, so wail, the definition is to make mournful sounds as music or the wind. Like a candle in the wind.
I was wondering when you're going to bring him up.
Wailing hearts bleeding in the wind.
That came out pretty quick as well, didn't it? That was on the.
Oh, yeah.
That was number one in the charts, pretty sharp.
Yeah, everything was ready to go.
Everything was so ready to go.
Same as the Divot vials. Same as the vials with the injection-ness. It's all ready to go. Everything's all ready to go.
All ready to go.
All the actors have got their places, and everyone knows what to do.
Did you guys know, I'm sure you did, but did you know that the Candle in the Wind song existed long before Diana's death?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was rewritten, wasn't it?
Yep, it was rewritten. It used to be, instead of Goodbye England's Rose, which is the new lyrics,
Mary,
it was Goodbye Norma Jean. And it was
Norma Jean, that's right, yeah.
Written about Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe is going to make a couple appearances here in a minute. But yeah, just to kind of, so yeah, it was Goodbye England's Rose became, and then so these are the new lyrics. I like how at the end of this first stanza it says, "Now you belong to heaven, and the stars spell out your name." Spelling as in a magic spell, so that's another little wink, wink right there. But yeah, so this is the rejiggered lyrics for Diana's death that Elton John sang at her funeral.
Look at this.
And the fourth line down, it says torn apart.
That's exactly
just like
what I was
your
about
heart.
to point out. Where hearts. Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts as we tear apart the hearts of the whole nation. It's just like.
Okay, it gets better. I didn't even see that, but I'm glad y'all did, and it gets even better. It's crazy. Okay, so just a real quick note on rose. Every time we see the word rose, remember, rose is a little wink, wink language, Latin for sub rosa, meaning happening or done in secret. So when we see rose, it's an indication of deception. If you see that embedded in things, it's just
the Rosicrucian
wink,
order.
Wink. Mm-hmm.
Rosetta Stone.
Sub Rosicrucian.
My grandmother's name was
Rosetta
Rose.
Stone. She's fine. She gets a pass. She'll get a pass.
She did have a secret though. She did have a secret as well.
She did.
Was your grand
she
a queen,
did have
Mason?
a secret. No, no,
man,
no.
she was really. That was
nothing
faded
like
in her stars. That was
No,
faded in her
nothing like
name.
that. It's like a family secret.
I love it.
It's not,
Well, how interesting is that? That her name was
That's
Rose.
true.
And
That's
Rose,
100% true story.
Rose means happening or done in secret, and she had a secret, so that fits right in. But back to the lyrics. Okay, so the Smiths had released this album, "The Queen Is Dead," about a decade prior. The Queen is Dead. On this album, it wasn't the single. The single was released later, but on that album, there was a song called "There Is a Light That Never Goes Out." On the album, "The Queen Is Dead." There is a light that never goes out. Many people have suggested that this is a foretelling of the future of the Queen is dead, being the Queen of Hearts is dead, and there is a light that...
Did you say that there was a light on top of the tunnel that is
Correct.
always illuminated?
There's an eternal flame.
Yeah.
There's an eternal flame on top. And this song is, there's a light that never goes out, and it involves basically a horrific car crash. It's a beautiful song. I enjoy the Smiths. They're a little too sad sack for me, but I enjoy it. But this song is all about dying in a horrific car crash, and one of the lyrics are about going into a darkened underpass.
Gosh.
Yeah, which is she died in a collision, which is, the song is literally about dying. Look, if you look above, and then if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us. So this song is literally about dying in a horrific car crash in a darkened underpass. So that seems a little interesting. And you hit the nail on the head. We've got the Flamme de la Liberté, a flame that literally never goes out, a constant eternal flame. Right there where she...
Wu-Tang forever.
Wu-Tang forever. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
I just remember writing it on there. My mate happened to have a Sharpie marker pen in his pocket. The look on those French girls' faces was priceless. I just smashed their energy harvesting ritual with one swipe of a Sharpie. Classic.
You knew. Oh, and I
do.
think this
Something
is a
told me.
Pointed star. And is that a pentagram or a hexagram below? I can't tell. I need to get it better.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It'll be 6. It'll be 6. I do.
It's a pentagram.
Come on, at this
one looks
point,
like a pentagram.
the amount of fucking symbology in this
It's
ritual
crazy.
is like literally, it's more than 9/11.
I think that's like directly above the 13th pillar as well.
It does, because the 13th pillar is actually more towards the exit than the center. The pillars are not evenly spaced. There's 26 pillars, but they're not evenly spaced. So the 13th does not actually lie at the very middle. It's actually towards the exit. And I like visually, I don't have a diagram map, but it would be looking down. This would be right on top of the pillar that she.
Yeah.
And then I think I just wanted to have that in there again, turning in the wrong direction. Oh, just to bring up, we talked about Henri Paul, this guy that looks like he's on all sorts of Dr. Goodfeel medication. What did we ever figure out the medication that he was on?
Leconte, I'm trying to find.
Sure, it looks like he's on MKO.
The only thing I can find on that is Leconte, spelled Leconte.
It's pronounced Leconte. I prescribed that to Michael Jackson in the late 1980s.
I've had a look.
C-O-N is like a con, to con someone is to trick, to lie, to deceive.
C-O-M for Mike, sorry. So it's
Oh,
Lima
Mike.
Echo. Yeah,
That
sorry.
does sound something that Conrad
But,
Black would have prescribed Michael Jackson in the late 1980s.
Definitely. I've had a good look, though. I can't
Lequante.
find actually anything on that medication. However, it was prescribed on the actual day of the incident. I think it was the 31st to the 8th, wasn't it?
Yes.
So it was prescribed that morning, but having watched a bit of the documentary a minute ago, it said that due to extreme intoxication of the driver, that was what they put it down to.
Right.
Not meds, but there was a lot of things hidden. The documentary is quite in depth, but
Well, the large
I'll
amounts
keep
of
looking.
spirits must have weighed out the experimental drugs that he was taking as well.
Sorry, can I just ask again,
Yes.
just to go back to the questions I asked, about the actress being in the car, or actually not being Diana in the car? Are you able to shed any on that?
Yes, we're actually going to get into kind of my thoughts on that exactly a little bit farther in the presentation. So I'll just wait. I'll cover it then. But I do believe, I 100% believe that if there was a person in that car or outside of the Ritz, what we witnessed, if anybody witnessed anything, they witnessed an actress playing Diana. I believe that wholeheartedly. Any eye observers on at all, if anybody saw anything, it would have been seeing an actress. So I agree with that element, and I'm going to kind of go into what I mean buy that a little bit farther. But remember his eyes. Just keep in mind, he's got these kooky, crazy eyes. They're wide as they can be. And we'll come back to this. We'll come back to these wide eyes in a minute.
He's fucking loaded.
Yeah.
He's loaded.
He's on something. I'll have
It
what
looks like he's on the way to the after party, not on the way to the rave. He's been to the rave.
He's done the rave, yeah.
He's driving
He's done the
to
rave.
some undisclosed flat for an after party.
Yeah, after the party is the after party. That's right. That is right. But one thing that I found about, I was just doing a little bit of research about Mr. Henri Paul, Mr. Feelgood, it seems. He was the Ritz's acting security chief. Acting security chief. Now, when you read that, sometimes they have that in politics, like acting security advisor, acting whatever. That term gets used for someone that's in an interim position, like an in-between, not the actual security chief, but an interim security chief. Acting anything is a normal thing to say for titles for someone that's not traditionally in that role. So it says two things right here, that Henri Paul was not the Ritz's actual, long-term security chief. He was an interim security chief. And just the fact that it's acting, like actors. We were just kind of talking about this with Diana. So Henri Paul was playing the role of security that night. He was quite literally acting as security chief. So just a little note on that one. I looked a little bit farther into his story, and I noticed that he didn't really have much of a story. His backstory was really kind of hollow and exists really only for Diana. And something that I noticed, and it kind of explains away, why he doesn't have much of a presence, is because a lot of news articles said that he kept to himself. The man we know is Henri Paul, kept to himself. But it kind of explains that as, keeping to oneself is a French characteristic. So the fact that he kept to himself shouldn't ring any alarm bells for anyone. But I have been noticing this kept to himself with many things in the news. I actually first started noticing it when Derek Chauvin, back to the George Floyd saga, the event of George Floyd.
I would say that the reason they use this phrase is to induce sympathy towards a certain person involved. Whoever is, keeps to themselves, just makes them seem like, they do no harm, don't hurt anyone.
Yeah,
a
wouldn't
little
hurt
bit
a
lonely.
fly. Kept to himself.
So it's to
wouldn't hurt
induce a
fly.
form of sympathy, I believe. That's why they
make him seem like just a quiet, just a quiet guy.
Yeah, there's all these is the fucking same tactics. They're all the same news stations, and whether it's a newspaper, radio, it's all the
like
same shit. Yeah.
His neighbours didn't notice anything.
He was a nice family man.
Yeah. The kept to himself one is really clever because it also helps explain away why nobody knows them, why they have no footprint. Well, they kept to himself. You never heard of him? Well, it's because they kept to himself. It's just it's a great pre-explainer of these characters that really don't exist outside of the narrative that they exist within. That there's nothing of them outside of this. They're really only existing for the story. Kept to himself is something that I just noticed many times. I first started noticing it really with Derek Chauvin. I noticed it recently. We had these crazy murders called the Moscow murders in the United States a couple of months ago. And the suspect, I noticed that many news articles said that he kept to himself. I believe the suspect just to be a character. All the way back to Ted Bundy, serial killer extraordinaire. He also kept to himself, which I think is...
Yeah, see, I mean, in that context, they're making him seem like a loner.
Loner, yeah.
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 It's just like archetypes playing out, like you say, templates.
You're exactly right, and the pattern is establishing itself. I noticed a pattern with kept to himself, and it gets used in lots of different ways in these big stories. There always seems to be
look at that as well. 33 votes on the bottom article there.
Yes, I always find that.
There,
It's always there. Yep. Okay, back to the crash. Love it. Okay, back to the crash. We talked about this a little earlier, but the tunnel reopened within hours. The tunnel reopened within hours of the crash. And some claim there was not a proper amount of time to complete an investigation. Well, no shit. It reopened hours after. Everything had been removed. There was even news reports of within minutes of the bodies being removed from the car, which again, there's no footage of. There's no indication that really anybody was in the car. Anyway, so the tunnel reopens, and before it reopens, there was a cleaning crew, a crew with a water tanker that came and they washed off the tunnel walls. The whole thing was, all the debris was removed, the tunnel walls, any theoretic
so you
DNA.
You don't do that, yeah.
You don't do that. You don't do that. And
not if it's a high profile
No.
person.
And yet they seem to do it.
On Sunday, the 24th of August, we will be joined virtually by the final boss at the bottom of the rabbit hole, Jason Breeches of Archaics. For the first time ever, he will be in a three-way panel discussion with Martin Liedtke and Dave Murphy. Come and join us live in the flesh to be a part of this historic moment.
It's competition time.
It's competition time. It's the time you've all been waiting for. There is a t-shirt of your choice up for grabs. It's too late to enter. The competition shut at 5 p.m. today. Believe it or not, this is just a few memes and a few bits from Clan World I've farmed. But the competition was take a screenshot of the most ludicrous, ridiculous Clan World headline or news story, a nicely trimmed screenshot, PM it to me by 5 o'clock on Friday. That was earlier today. For the chance to win a t-shirt. Now, I'm going to give a little preface here. Some of these entries were unbelievable. I had to actually fact check, I would say 95% of these, because most of them I couldn't believe they were actually real news stories. And I can actually tell you, out of fact checking all of them, I only found one that was completely untrustworthy. It couldn't be corroborated, and it was like, it wasn't.
What? We got memes coming as multiple. She sent two.
Is that Auntie?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
Oh. This is another big Mickey one.
Oh, that
I've seen this picture before.
Yeah. This is a recycle, but that's very still good.
We'll get them out in a bit.
Get them out. Okay, so I have fact checked all of these. Every single one of these is a real headline from Clan World. Is everybody ready? Where's the clown sound?
Oh, I've gone on to Archaics.
Oh, right, okay. I just need some clown sound.
You could have dropped the holographic construct.
Right, let's go. Fucking hell, that's well loud. Turn it down.
I turned it up for Archaics.
Right, okay. This is the first. This is the first one. This actually was sent to me. I can't remember who. By the way, if we say that you win tonight, you're gonna have to email me to remind me.
This looks like an album cover for the Soviet Union.
This actually was taken from Human Vibration. Funnily enough. Oh, AJ sent this to me. Can you recognise these famous faces? If not, you may have long Divok face blindness. What? Long Divok face blindness? What the fuck is that? Where's the fucking clown sound? Long Divok face blindness. You heard it here first. If you cannot recognise the faces of these famous celebrities, you may be suffering from long Divok. A study suggests researchers at Dartmouth University found the persistent prosopagnosia, also known as Pfizer face blindness, could yet be another symptom associated with the condition. Their theory is based upon the case of a woman named Annie, 28, why is she not 33, who contracted COVID Divok in March 2020. Months after clearing the initial infection, she had trouble recognizing her father's face, saying he looked like a stranger. Her case report was only published last week because the link has not been established until now. Many doctors fear cases of the condition are going undiagnosed and not being tied back to the virus. Separate... What? Right. Harvard University released a simple test that you can do yourself to help detect facial blindness using A-list celebrities.
I'm just reading about oh, the perfect one.
The little, you see, I put a little delay on the
Yeah, yeah.
It comes a little bit later.
Michael.
Who was it? Someone said they couldn't recognise any of these people. I was like, you've got long divots. Obviously, we've got Obama, Rock, Whitney. No, not Whitney.
Oprah. Yeah, Okra.
Who's the person on the right?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who the person on the top right is either.
Yeah, no, the top right is an actor, isn't he? They're all actors.
They're all actors.
Yeah.
There's Madonna, but I don't know who the two people on the right are. It looks like
The Rock.
It's like a Chinese Joe Biden.
Clown World, mate.
Yeah, Clown World. Anyway, Clown World Fade. This is the first entry. Next, right, two good strong entries here. So this is from February 27th, just within the window. Warning to women who have children in their early 20s, you may be at more at risk of heart attack or stroke, studies claim. What? Wait a minute, isn't that the time when you're supposed to have children?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a strong entry there. A nice bit of Clown World. Next from The Guardian, experience. My dog underwent gender reassignment surgery. Molly seemed like a perfectly normal female pup at first. It was only when she started taking walks outside that we noticed unusual behaviour. What happened in those walks outside that was unusual? What is different between a dog and a bitch when they go walking outside? What's going on? Okay, so we're just getting warmed up. Next, okay, these were sent in by two different people, so it's the same story, but there's a bit of a progression. And this is actually linked back to the banks, funnily enough. This guy is the head of Credit Suisse. No, sorry, Credit Suisse has he's the diversity champion at Credit Suisse, right? Pippa Bunce. With her shiny blonde hair, nails polished pink, and personality radiating pure vivaciousness, Pippa Bunce breaks like a ray of sunlight through the clouds that's been hanging over the Swiss bank. By the way, this is one of the banks that went down this week.
In Swabian Valley.
Yeah. It was the Swiss bank that was linked to Swabian Valley. So some days he's Philip, the banker, other days Pippa. But now female city workers are saying you can never be our woman of the year. Oh, what? So
been rejected.
They got nominated to be Woman Banker of the Year.
Right.
Definitely.
I'm just reading now. He likes to be called Pips.
Pips. He's got Pip to the post to be Woman of the Year by an actual woman. What a surprise. Who could have thought it? Proper Clown World. So imagine though, wait a minute, go back. Imagine how male dominated banking is. So if you're a woman banker, and the prize for Woman Banker of the Year
goes to a dude.
This, what an insult! That's proper, proper Clown World. Okay,
so straight from the Jerusalem Post,
it's a good
of course. One. So sleeping less than 6 hours will decrease Britney Spears to effectiveness. Study says.
Wow, I did double check on this. This is real too. I've never heard that claim before. What time is it on the clock there? It's 13 minutes past 3. No, joking. Okay. Oh no, we skip one. No. Okay. The Daily Star. This is the top Clown World headline here.
I mean, Barney's looking better. I've seen it look better.
Madonna hailed as hottest woman ever as she crawls across the floor in a corset and fishnet tights.
Please revert back to the slides earlier in the show.
But well, how old is Madonna now?
Well,
we had this conversation the other week, and no one could.
She's got to be in her 60s or 70s.
Goes, 70s. She's like 80. No, I think she's like 68 or 69.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably got a decent supply of adrenochrome.
Okay,
so Ukraine conflict shows global climate warming change mainly affects women, says Clinton.
Mate, like that deserves all three. Right, because
that was all three.
I had to like double check this.
She's looking very masculine there.
Oh, definitely. That's why it only affects women. But when I saw this picture, I was like, "What?" I had to unpack it for a minute.
They're schwabbing together the Ukrainian conflict and the global climate warming change.
But how? So Hillary Clinton, Ukraine conflict shows climate change primarily affects women. Clinton joined MSNBC's Mika Brzezinski. Oh, Zabrinsky's daughter. Nice. What Kissinger with Michael Kissinger, with Ukrainian Ola Zelenska. Is it she related to Zelensky?
Must be.
But wait a minute, Billie Jean. Is this Michael Jackson? Michael. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said Wednesday that women and children are the primary victims of conflict and climate change, and the war in Ukraine shows us that. But what has Ukraine got to do with climate change?
Well, they're just schwabbing it all together, aren't they?
Yeah, but even in clan world, you've got some sort of like loose connection.
Do you reckon it's got something to do with like what they supply the most of the northern world with, like grain or whatever it is they do, enriched uranium?
Yeah, but is it climate change's fault? It can't be Putin's fault and climate change. It's got to be what.
Well, maybe it's Putin's fault for climate change.
Hang on.
Putin,
They're already blaming Putin on something else now, so maybe this is.
Oh no! Did you not see today the global arrest warrant for Putin?
Yeah, that's what I said to you.
Shout out to Putin.
Yeah, you did. And apparently, isn't it for child trafficking?
Well, it's actually for for taking kids basically out of Ukraine and putting them to Russia without their families. That's what they reckon.
It's probably kids that he was rescuing from fucking war
from Clown World.
Yeah, he's rescuing them. Yeah, Ukraine is like the capital of Clown World right now.
I like his response. I don't recognise the ICC. Who are these people?
So we've got David Attenborough here. Producers feared David Attenborough would catch bird flu and die during filming.
Wow.
And over on the right,
Komodo dragons.
over on the right here, Ugly Duchess painting, maybe a man. New research finds.
That painting. Do you know that painting?
No, mate. No, I'm not familiar.
I studied art at like sort of like A level and that. That's quite a famous painting. I've seen it. I've seen it in London.
It's like the BFG.
Yeah, I mean, I remember buying a postcard of it because I just thought it was so weird. But it just seemed weird to me. I don't know why I put it there. It just jumped out at me. It was like, wow, they've just realised this might be a man after all these years. Really.
So not all ovarian cancer victims are women, says London government-funded Vagina Museum.
Oh yeah, this was brilliant. That one, the Vagina Museum.
So even in the Vagina Museum, there's some idiot in there saying that like men have vaginas too. You can't. There's no space safe. Like even in the Museum of Vaginas, you still have some like total.
Yeah, because if they weren't inclusive, it's racist, isn't it?
The only way they can justify this in my head, right, is like a man's got to put up with, someone like, for example, the relationship thing. But that's it.
What do you mean?
Well, for example, if you've got say for example your missus has got ovarian cancer. Then you've got to deal with the backlash of that as well, like looking after her and things like that. That's the only way I can think that they can ever justify that statement. Because men don't have vages, so let's face it.
I've got a feeling that that's not what they're saying, though.
Obviously not, but
that's a perfectly valid explanation when you're not in clown world. Like, well, everyone's a victim of cancer. Like, if someone gets cancer, everyone knows them is a victim of it. But nah, not all ovarian cancer victims are women.
We've got some artwork here from Al Gore. Welcome to Clown World.
Oh yeah, this is your work, isn't it? I mean, you collaborated with Al Gore on this one. Welcome to Clown World. Have a nice day. So, this is quite harrowing, but this is apparently one of Matt Dazalam's messages when he was talking about releasing the new Scariant, saying we'll frighten the pants off everyone. And yeah, it's all well and good, but the harsh reality was that the result of everyone having their pants frightened off is NPCs doing stuff like this to kids who may have been permanently, psychologically damaged by Clown World. So we do need to remember that. I'm not saying we're not going to carry on laughing at Clown World, because we are, but we just have a little moment of solemnness for the actual physical effects of Clown World on like a whole generation. Oh yeah, we have
multiple generations.
Yeah, but we should never ever apologise about laughing about it, because that this has helped us to survive the psychological clown slaught that's been foisted on everyone. So we should never feel bad for laughing at Clown World, but we do need to remember the actual effects on those less fortunate than us.
So we've got some more Al Gore artwork here.
What were you go back. What were you typing in to get this? You were mixing in They Live with Clown World, weren't you?
Yeah. And then because obviously I can delete them without you seeing, but I was also mixing pictures of you, Lance.
What?
Into Schwab in
I
large.
wanted to get the big hair, and he wouldn't give me big hair. He was giving me like this like weird haircut. So I was like, oh, fuck this man. I know he's got big hair.
Right, so we saw that on the 13th of the 3rd, which was Monday,
Yes.
the economy, the world economy took a imploded. And Silicon Valley Bank went down. Look at the address.
Yeah, man.
3003.
Yeah.
On the 3rd of the 3rd.
Who would have thought? Do you reckon it was planned?
Oh, surely not. They're up to something with that Silicon Valley Bank thing. Because you got to think, most people who invested in that were tech people, and tech's massive. So I'm struggling to believe that they went under. You know, and the guy who was the main man of the Silicon Valley banks has sort of said, we're not big enough to get a government bailout. You actually look at that turnover, it's huge.
Yeah, right. When did Silicon Valley stop making money? Do you know what I was thinking, right?
Schwabian Valley can probably make itself some more money.
This year, everyone was like waiting around for something to happen on the 3rd of the 3rd, apart from us doing Rajagenda 2033. Then people were waiting for the 22nd of March because it's 322.
Yeah.
Right? But it looks like the event actually happened on the 13th of March because there was a 3-3 there.
Yes.
I would say that this was the move. Because if this pans out the way I think it's going to, and I don't want to jinx anything, because, well, actually, I can't really jinx it. It's going to happen anyway.
Shackle, isn't it?
Well, when the Bank of America goes down, the Silicon Valley Bank goes down, and a Swiss bank goes down, and I've seen today that when I was trying to move some bits, that there's more restrictions in place. They're saying even NatWest is restricting people's crypto purchases to 5K now. Because they're obviously wise. If people have got money in the bank and they see this happening, they're just going to put it all into crypto instantly.
Sure. Yeah.
So they're stopping that now. So everyone needs to be really wise about that, and they need to be sort of checking how they make their movements every day if they've got something to save from what's going to happen. If you're fortunate enough to be in that position.
The collapse.
Yeah, because nothing's going to be safe in none of these old world banks. It's not going to be safe. Definitely not. Okay, more Clown World. This is still the competition, by the way. These are all entries.
So the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation just announced a 4.7 million grant for a company that sells face masks for cows.
No, I thought that's total bullshit. No way can that be real. But then I remembered, of course, Conrad, this is Clown World.
Yes.
So then,
anything is possible.
So if you get rid of the chat there, Andy PG,
get rid of you.
You'll see that climate change. Bill Gates backs Australian startup company targeting cow burps. This is back in January 24th. And then if you look to the left, Prince Charles. So now,
Lord Sausage Fingers is getting
King
involved.
Sausage Fingers.
King Sausage.
The 33rd backs face masks for cows to help save the planet.
Right.
And this is what from no, it's not methane, is it? What are they breathing out then?
Well, I thought they farted out the methane.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So what the burps? What's the burps?
Oh, it must be carbon dioxide.
CO2. Yeah. So they're putting satanic masks on cows now.
Well, yeah, the Soviet Union comes to cattle.
I'm surprised they put carbon tax onto the farmers.
Carbon tax the cows. Well, they probably are. There's probably a way of recording it. Okay, so we've got some
33 hours inside an NHS National Holocaust Service.
Why 33 hours? Why not 24? Why 33? We know why. So that was a good one someone sent me. Judo instructor who hurled police officer to the ground and attacked another trying to pepper spray him as they tried to arrest him for holding free outdoor children's classes during Divot lockdown, avoids jail. Yes.
He beat the Soviet Union.
Yeah, he beat them head first. But literally,
Judo never no one apart from them. Mate.
Literally nutted them heavy. And then we've got something from the 15th of March here. These suits were made for moonwalking. What? NASA unveils new Artemis 3 gear that will be worn by the first woman to land on the lunar surface in 2025. So that's
the second Artemis article, but it's a completely different thing. But they're both about females.
What was the other one?
So there's a new footballer, a robot footballer. They're saying it's better than Messi, and Artemis stands for I think I sent you the article, mate. It stands for a robot that is something Messi in soccer. A robot that exceeds Messi in soccer. That's what Artemis stands for, right? And this robot is next level. It's got like
I did see what you sent to me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing piece of equipment. However, it's a bizarre concept. And they reckon by 2030 or 2050 they're going to have robots versus human football. So the bread and
circuses are going digital.
Indeed, they've got to keep up, haven't they?
So,
a bit of Lord Schwab.
This is, you remember I said there was one that was sent in to me which didn't pass my fact checker test.
Yeah,
it was this one.
Right. Okay.
I couldn't find anything apart from something like News Punch reporting on this. There was nothing from Clan World Media, nothing from the WEF. I know that bestiality got legalized in, I think it was it Italy or Spain? It's one of those countries. It recently got legalized, but I couldn't see anything about the WEF. So whoever sent this in, unlucky, sorry, disqualified.
So we won't even read it.
Yeah. I just checked this live on the set from World War 33. Someone pointed out, like, look at the level of the cameras around him. Look at these cameras here and here.
That's like Wachowski brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like literally a Matrix room. They could beam him anywhere. Look at his T-shirt as well. It's fucking Star Wars Dark Side.
I think. Do you know what, Matt? This is the outfit he wore when. I wonder if that's a green screen exposure, because like in one of his videos where he's in the war, he's with his fellow men in the war. He's wearing that outfit.
So do you reckon they just AI'd him in?
It wouldn't fucking surprise me.
What, are you saying they AI'd his Star Wars T-shirt on as well? Because usually he just has like the standard issue, like Primark olive green combat hoodie.
Yeah. Hey, Primark's gone Wu-Tang, mate.
What do you mean Primark's gone Wu-Tang?
Primark has got Wu-Tang clobber in it at the moment.
Fuck off.
I'm not even fucking
What,
kidding
proper licensed Wu-Tang stuff?
I believe so. And NBA shit.
Wow. I have to go down Primark and get some Wu wear. So yeah, World War 33 rages on live from the most sophisticated green screen studio ever. Okay, look at this peasant.
I had my Tesco's club card.
This guy is the top peasant in Clan World this week.
Did I send you this one as well?
Many people sent this one to me.
It's unreal. He goes, it works.
So he oh my God, look at the way he spelt no regrets on his arm. Look.
Oh, this is really old.
No, mate,
I've seen this years ago.
I'm being funny. He didn't spell it wrong. The fucking tattoo artist did.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, well, apparently it is old. He had his club card QR code tattooed on his arm, but he's now also considering getting his Nectar card permanently inked on him too. Although he only collected £18 worth of points. Is this old then? Have you seen this before?
No, I've seen the bottom image.
Oh, right,
it's quite new. It's quite new, the story, but I reckon they've done it a while ago. He's made 18 quid, for fuck's sake.
He could have at least fixed the hole in his T-shirt instead of getting that.
He's a scaffolder.
He's a peasant, mate.
Oh, he's a peasant, yeah, right. Okay. So we've got some really strong entries here. Padma Lakshmi. Nobody wants to talk about their vagina, but I was so angry. What? Rishi Sunak, sorry. His indoor home swimming pool uses so much power that the whole Yorkshire Village power grid needed to be upgraded.
Of course, peasants, come on.
It costed the PM tens of thousands of pounds as the public battle crippling energy bills. Wow. Slumdog Millionaire. Imagine how fat his pool is.
Oh, yeah.
I bet he's got like an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Of course he has.
No, I reckon it'd be nice and cosy for all of his mates to sit in there with him.
Oh, yeah. But well, you probably got like one of those like Hugh Hefner layers as well.
Oh, this is the robo thing.
Oh, these are Omer's entries.
I'm reading this middle one. Archaeologists believe they've discovered the tomb of Santa Claus.
Oh, that's well good.
Quality, this one is.
Let me full screen that shit.
This is in Turkey, right? So he's been believed to be found years ago somewhere else, I can't think. And there was an argument, and then now they've dug up this tomb. And I reckon it's probably ever since those earthquakes were happening in Turkey. But they've been doing some work there, and they discovered this tomb. It's in unique, pristine condition, and it's definitely Santa Claus's grave. But now Santa Claus should be regarded as a ghost because they found his grave.
Right.
Obviously,
but Santa Claus isn't Saint Nicholas, though, is it?
This is what they're trying to claim. This is Clown World, don't forget.
So dumb.
So we've got the solution to long distance relationship.
Yeah, so I talked about there's a lot of robo tech.
Oh my God.
Right, so virtual kissing machine.
The robot footballer, and now you've got a robo kiss, and then you've got robo skin on the right hand side there.
So, right, let's break this down. The remote kissing device has been created by a group of university students in China for people in long-distance relationships. Wow. The 3D silicone gadget has mouth-shaped module and is triggered through a kiss, which is then transferred to the mouth on the other side. It mimics the movements, temperature, and pressure of the kiss using sensors and links to phones via Bluetooth and an app.
This will be huge in those cams.
Oh my God, I can see how people can abuse this already.
Exactly, mate.
Fucking hell. Image, the device mimics the movement, temperature and pressure of the kiss using sensors. The device was created by a group of university students.
I guarantee there'll be a blowy version of that soon enough.
Mate, of course there is already one.
Yeah, no doubt.
Someone has already broken it.
Somebody's got scientists develop electronic skin that allows
this is
robots
the
to
interesting
feel.
one. So in that robot footballer, he's got like special muscles which make him. So instead of being rigid, they are flexible, like ours, and like an animal's. They're based upon an animal one, and the skin is now based upon human skin. So that's very close to having the proper organic meat suit for a robot. So not only are they doing the transhuman, they're doing the trans robot.
So it's not so you can touch the robot and it feels like a human. It's so the robot can feel you.
So it knows how to feel, yeah.
Wow.
And then,
So it learns
amongst
how to
other things as well. But yeah, that's
Because if you think about it, in traditional science fiction movies and the views of the future, when they talked about the androids and they showed the androids and in those movies, and there are loads of them, I won't talk about one in particular, they always were like, well, the humans, we made the androids and they were too like humans. So then we made them less like humans because people didn't like it. So the thought was they would always have like skin so that to us, it would feel like skin. But now when it's actually happening, it's the other way around.
it's fucking crazy.
They're creating the skin so that the robot can feel you.
Yeah, so the robot
touching the
can feel.
robot.
Yeah,
So it's actually for the robot.
They use the term so the robot can feel, and I think about the emotional side behind that as well. So once they start to learn how to feel, and then the AI kicks in with it.
Yeah, so it's not like look, feel this robot. It feels well lifelike. It's like, here, feel this meat suit. We've made some skin so you can touch it. feel the squidgy meat suit. We've made you a silicone membrane so you can interact with the meat suit.
Wow.
And a little picture of a girl with the robot man just to make it cute and shit. So that's crazy.
Someone just said in the comments, $6 million mangina. Who's that? User unknown. Welcome to Rise Above.
So rare cancer causes US man to suddenly
This is
develop
fucking
an
quality.
Irish sounding accent.
And a little while ago, it's actually in this article, there's a woman who suddenly started talking like Mary Poppins. Do you know what? Well, that's a perfect one because do you know why he started talking? Because he had prostate cancer. So you can imagine why he suddenly started talking Irish. He had fingers up his ass.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. MRI of lesions of this patient's brain consistent with an intracranial metastatic disease, a rare form of prostate cancer, caused the man in his 50s to suddenly speak with an accent that sounded remarkably like an Irish brogue. Is that the word? Brogue?
Don't know, mate.
Brogue,
yeah.
It's clown world.
Well, it's very good.
Right, that's enough of that. So women in Berlin allowed to go topless in swimming pools, says state government.
Yeah, this is an interesting article because in any pool now, like for example,
Oh shit, we haven't got the screen up.
the thing is like I don't see it in the great scheme of things, right? Women get in there, it's natural, isn't it? However, that's not the world that these children grow up in. So then there's two sides of the argument.
Because usually in European countries, it's like, I don't know, some European countries, it's like actually illegal for women to go topless. And then some countries it's allowed. It's kind of weird. Now they're saying they could do it in like a public swimming pool indoors.
Yeah. And you think that Germany is like the land of the early porn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's an interesting move. I don't really know why they decided to whack it in the news as well, because it's in quite a lot of different places, this news was. It's obviously big news in Germany.
It's in reaction to the complaint of the ombudsman involvement in the case.
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah, because obviously men can have their tops off, but why can't women? That's the basis of it.
So it's like, I doubt any women have like lobbied to, I want to go topless in the local swimming baths. It's probably just like some stupid SJW, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
It's got to be the same for everyone.
Put this alongside the children being exposed to the trans dancers and all that,
Oh, great, yeah.
And you got them. I don't know. I think
they're
sex, like they're bringing
that is
the Schwab show.
Yeah, that is the Schwab show. Yeah, well, it leaves exactly 25 minutes for Godvad.
Yeah, of course.
Perfectly timed.
So, we need to decide what was the craziest headline. So let's have a little flick back through. Because, someone's got to win a T-shirt here. And whoever wins, they've got to remind me because I won't remember all of these, who sent me all of these.
Ask the chat room, see what they're thinking.
Yeah, anyone in the chat room, put a double hashtag if you think if one of those headlines really stood out, and we'll just go through them again.
There was a fair few there.
There was quite a few. Where did we start? We started like
A bit further.
here. Okay. So that's more of an interesting story, right? So my dog underwent gender reassignment surgery. Women in their early 20s are at more risk of a heart attack or stroke if they have a kid. Sleeping less than 6 hours will decrease the Britney effectiveness. Madonna is the hottest woman ever as she crawls across the floor in corset. Oh, this is a strong.
This is a strong candidate. Yeah.
I think the dog one's pretty strong.
Okay, all right, okay. Let's put the first one on the table as one of our contenders. Is Ukraine conflict shows climate change mainly affects women, says Clinton. I'm going to put that on the table. What's the dog one?
The one at the start, the dog gender reassignment.
Dog and gender reassignment. Okay, we'll pick one more for the shortlist. And what else is really crazy here?
Other way, Lance.
What up?
No,
this way. Yeah. David Attenborough was going to die from bird flu.
This one here? No, there's another one.
Not only women can get ovarian cancer.
That's pretty ludicrous, to be fair, isn't it?
That is quite ludicrous. I mean, the whole 303 Silicon Valley story. What's everyone saying?
The cow burps, I reckon that's up there as well. Fucking
yeah, the masks for cows.
I would say it's got to be between masks for cows and Ukraine climate change.
I'm voting Hillary.
Okay, right. Those are the two choices. It's either Bill Gates, masks for cows, or Hillary Clinton, Ukraine.
Tell you what, right? Get a picture of old fucking Biden up. He looks a lot like Hillary Clinton in that picture.
Who?
Biden. Look at the face. It's looking a lot like Biden now.
You're right. It does look a lot like Biden.
And a little bit like what's his face.
So Hillary or Gates? Hillary or Gates, please. In the comment section, let me see. Who have we got? Cow masks, Hillary, Clinton.
Another one. Andrew Bill says Hillary.
Yeah, I think this is complete clown world news, that isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Just because it's nonsense, mate.
Okay, we've got two. That's 2 votes for Gates. Oh no, Hillary's won it.
Yeah, Hillary is.
Okay, it's official. The winner of the stupidest, most ridiculous clown world headline this week, and I think it should be a weekly competition. We'll keep this going every week. Ukraine conflict shows climate change mainly affects women, says Hillary Clinton. It's a real news headline, and whoever sent this to me, I will go through my inbox to try and find out, but you've won a free t-shirt of your choice from the website.
Yeah, email the show.
Email me, but whoever sent this was in my Facebook inbox anyway, so you can, if you've seen the show, send me a message. I will go back. Yeah, everyone's voting Hillary. We only had 2 votes for Bill Gates.
Word, power and sound. Every positive movement, every conversation, every connection, every seed you plant, ripple. Don't let anyone ever tell you that one person can't make a change. Bullshit.
On the dawn of a harvest sun, are we speaking the truth in the sharpest tongue? Feast on a rabbit, served with a garnished lunch. We got the hardest puns. Mind master, trust your ability. NPC is an IQ deficiency. They're living in mental captivity. I'll never submit to these bloodline dynasties. On the dawn of a harvest, crops a song to trade corn with the farmers. Sometimes I want out of this nightmare society like I was born with the Amish. I've got the formula mastered, claiming our power, there's more to be harnessed. I'm no ordinary artist, try wage war, I'll be forming the armies. Q-R-A-N-O-X, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox.
On the night of a harvest moon, I take flight to the farthest tomb. I meditate in the darkest room by the candlelight until the spark exhumes. On the night of a harvest, I see a silhouette hunter hold up a carcass, and he heartbeats a target, and blood trails the ground like red carpet. On the night of a harvest moon, so sacred, silk on an ancient loom. Hooded robes in ritual rooms, grey all night from yesterday's moon. On the night of a harvest, farmers emerge and they set up a market. It's all business regardless, where your loot is bought and sold and bartered.
Q-R-A-N-O-X, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox. On the dawn we glance to the east. We ain't scared of the mark of the beast. Performing sacred rituals, nobody but lost in this messed up society. They wanna force their views on our offspring, teaching our children that gender's non-binary. This is social engineering to try fulfill transhuman agenda. Al Gore better come prepared, cause I ain't in the mood to be censored. EQRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest sun, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox.
I'm a freelance quantum gardener with a homemade combine harvester. So when I see your crops wilting, I got the organic rod that will harden them. This realm rotates in cycles in counter-rotational Solomon spirals. Masons build towers like Eiffel and vortex points to drain your vital. Simulacrums appear cyclical, toroidal electro-spiritual. The holosphere projects physical, the manifestational synergy's mythical. We got problems, parasitical inside this torus field is critical. Henceforth mankind is pitiful. Rise and shine, please explain.